I need to come up with 1.8 million
No,
in
no,
expense,
Well-
in reduction in expenses, is what you're saying.
you can increase, so you can increase your expenditures by 1.8 million, or you could reduce the fund balance or reduce the taxes by that number.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. So what you're saying is my other changes to revenue is why my thing is looking at, like, I have to find $1.8 million.
You don't have to find.
Well, no, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to take anything from the fund balance, so,
Well, no, so it would reduce the usage of fund balance, so it's currently 2 million right now. So that would take, if you want to, the mayor's budget is 39 million for taxes, so either you're reducing taxes by 1.8 million to bring it down to 37 and change. Or
I'm not.
Yeah.
I want to stay at 39. That was a
Okay.
mistake. That,
Okay.
it says it on the thing I submitted to you that I want to keep it
Okay,
at
so-
39, 3, 4, 3,
So
2,
you
7.
want to take that 1.8 million and reduce 2 million, so you have about $200,000 worth of usage for this year's budget, 2026.
I'm not understanding you. I'm sorry.
So.
I'm just correcting, two errors.
It's not being broadcast,
Excuse me? It's not being broadcast?
but not streaming.
So I can try to explain it a little better, but so all the adjustments you gave us for revenues and expenditures, it gave you a reduction of 1.8 million. So you're essentially reducing the budget by 1.8 million changes.
Okay,
So,
that, which would reduce the taxes.
right, either reduce the taxes or reduce fund balance. So currently
I'm trying to reduce the taxes.
Okay.
Okay, now I just want to also tell you there's one other error, which is on line 2170C. I want, that should be 206 like everybody else. Oh, well, 206 for me. Oh, that's the total. That's the total. Okay, I'm in the wrong column. 206, okay, we're all
So the
in.
first column is.
Yep,
the
got it.
adjustments,
And then
the totals for adjustments.
Gotcha, okay. I spent about 6 hours on this yesterday morning, folks, so.
No worries.
Interestingly enough, we're pretty much all in the same general sphere if you look at the totals for each of us.
No, we're far from it. What is it? 40 if you want to pay, it's not. This.
So it's under my capital, I didn't have my paperwork with me today, but I did talk to you that I'm not taking anything out other than. Let's see.
Should be the last page.
Yeah, I was leaving everything in at this point. That was my original one yesterday that I sent you. But in speaking, so I have no changes to my capital.
So all these changes here you want to remove?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah. Please.
of course.
And I didn't look at capital yet, because I really just wanted to focus on the
Yeah, same
operating
thing
budget.
I mean, so
Yeah,
I focus more on the
I won't
on the
be-
budget and
it's
then
not gonna
that's what-
affect us.
this is not much of this budget, but more in the future costs in 2027, so my focus will be more on the operating budget.
Oh, that's wrong.
In terms of the youth employment, yes, youth employment. See, you have that under the sport field. I think it's across the board, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what I
Everybody's
see.
in agreement for the 150.
Yeah,
So,
he was the one I would have got
Yeah, so you can,
changes on.
yeah, so if you don't mind, can you, on line A 7310 490, can you put that across, each member's,
I just want to remind the council too, this is not going to be the operating budget.
Right.
We are using our, CDBG to supplement that, massive presentation on Wednesday.
No, the reason why I don't want members to feel that, well, it's on the one and it's not,
Okay.
so we can not in agreement.
You feel better about the process?
I think you should cross it up because it's not in the operating budget.
Yeah,
Right.
because look at it, it's like, okay, we have a support bill, it looks like the only one person supporting it. Yeah, well, I know all of us, that was unanimous, but not all of us, but in terms of the, and I also think the senior funding also,
We'll delete that line then.
yes. Also the senior funding,
That one's not coming out of,
Right.
that one we have to put into,
It is in the budget. I put on mine. Yeah.
yeah, we have to put that one in the operating budget, not,
it is not across everybody's,
oh, well then,
This is what's provided to us from Sam's analysis and then what we reported for the meeting on Wednesday. So this is what we're, from all the notes that was provided to us.
okay. So can I ask, I'm trying to make life easy for all of us, for the other members who don't have it under their, would you like to see that happen? Yes. So can you please make that under Mr. Williams? Who else? Let's Porterfield.
I sent that in on Monday.
Yeah.
Yes, I did, but it's okay, we sent a lot of paper in, so.
Mr. Farley.
Yeah, it is.
So good, so everybody, this is unanimous in terms of funding the senior center.
No, it's gonna, we have to make all the adjustments afterwards.
Yeah, this is gonna help you make it, yes, so we know, we know where we stand in terms of the dollar amount across, each individual, column.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, okay. Right.
I was the only person that wanted dog shelter.
Oh,
The value. I'm sure we're gonna go line by line. I mean,
So Lily, I'm trying to kind of put, because you were out of the, sorry, the new hires, okay, so you said something about new hires, what, or recommendation?
That was
Can you recall?
it was the seasonal line that was.
It is not under your, column.
I have the original, if you need this, Mr. Williams. I have this thing that has all of us broken down by person. I don't know if it's on that book.
Thank you.
Sorry. Any upper down?
Yeah, so. Well, first I wanted to, I know I asked Corporation Council around like, Mr. Bryan was gonna look for the originating documents or maybe any legislation that allowed the golf fund to have their own capital line.
Lockbox or something.
Lockbox, sorry. So I don't know if communicated that to you or I didn't get that information, but it's okay if I.
I spoke to Mr. O'Brien and, with regard to the golf fund, the money that comes, according to the ordinance, the money that comes into the golf fund is supposed to be in a separate account and used for the benefit of the golf course.
Okay, well, yeah, he was gonna give me that ordinance.
You want the ordinance? Yeah.
Please.
So I got one, I have some other corrections, so it was a reduction in A 8161, 121, and those are seasonal labor orders. So reducing that.
The MBOs.
Meals or something.
Count that again.
8161, 121.
Seasonal labor orders,
Yep.
or the labor order.
The seasonal labor order, reducing that by half and then creating.
Oh, so it's not even on here yet. Okay.
And then I was going to recommend, based on Mr. Woodbury's comment, with respect to A 2610 increasing to the consensus of $600,000.
That's the delinquent parking fines.
Correct. And then for A 5999, putting in place $3 million. And then kind of Thomas and Woodbury, recommended management salaries of 3% across the board as well.
Mr. Williams, if you don't mind, sorry, I didn't explain this on here too. 26 can be fines and parking. I said there's when we had a discussion, based on the discussion, I think I kind of missed some of the points that was mentioned. And I kind of asked for 440,000 to be added to that line. But when I asked this for after my conversation with Assistant Chief Ripple, they have two what they call details doing these kind of outreach. So they did roughly about 27 this year. And they have a plan to do upward close to 50 next year. And with and it's all depends on time. So they only factor in $220,000 in this estimate, in the 2026 budget estimate. So if they were to do that additional 25, 27 is going to bring in another 220,000. That is not in the budget. So based on the conversation I had with them, I factor in that 220,000 under that line.
Okay.
So that's why I asked for a reduction from 440 to 220, because 220 is already in the budget.
So your total would be on that line, 2610B, adding the 220 would mean what so your total would be?
Yeah,
I'll
I'll wait on the commissioner to go back and change in terms of the total, but that's one.
Okay.
That is my recommended
I
change
wrote
at
that
this point in time on that line, Mr. Williams.
It would be 1.13.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you, sorry, are you?
So I just want to highlight that to you because
No, I'm asking,
Yeah.
if, Mr. Williams, at the 220 mark.
Yes, that's right. So I gave it a go with that.
And if you could just run over the revenues again, I think it's the couple.
Oh, no, no, no. No. Teasing.
And 2 weeks is really good time.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. So. A 1002. 29. A 1116. 850,000. A 2170A. 2,000. A 2170C. 306,000.
300 or 200?
No, just,
You just give us total.
Oh, okay.
A 2610A. 245. Good. Oh, correction, no, that's fine. So the next one, the A 2610A. And so 1.13 is a figure you calculated. Thank you. A 2610N. 170,000. A 2610N. 600,000. The new line is going to be 2.3 million. A 2660A. 3.5 million. A 2801C. 275,000. And explaining my logic with that. Didn't know if we had a consensus yet about whether we would take that out of or add that to the fees for golf. And then take a portion. So I know we had a discussion. I didn't know if we had a consensus.
So just for clarity, my thought was, taking money from the existing, golf reserve fund. And if that wasn't possible, then that conversation was to, raise fees. To get us to $150,000 for city revenue.
But it sounds like the consensus is to pull that directly from the CBG funds.
No, I
No,
thought,
it's something like that.
no, not even that. No. We're all doing that. They know it all as far as pulling that from that existing fund. I thought you were talking about the golf. I was saying what it was.
So this is an addition to that.
Sure, yeah,
Or I was going to do it.
because of that.
Right.
Sure, yep.
So we can cross it out?
Mhm.
I would reduce it to 200,000. A 3005 is 950,000. A 3089H is 4.3 million. And then a 5999.
Meaning you want to take 3 million from the fund balance on top of the 2 million that we already have in the budget, right? So taking five would,
We may be total.
oh, so the 2 million that's already in there plus $1 million?
Every figure I gave you was total.
Okay, gotcha.
And then that includes the 3% management. Which
please, go ahead and, that's
Oh, sure.
the total.
So I don't, I see that on the sheet over there, but it's in the correction about the NEO, so. The two millions that I said, like one in streets and the other one for SNAP to remain in the budget.
Are you saying to remain in the budget?
Yeah.
Okay.
So those have to get added in.
Is it capital budget?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not, okay.
Yeah.
We didn't discuss this in the other workshop.
I know.
So that's the same as what I'm doing. It's just that, okay, I don't think they put any of those on here, right?
No.
Ms. Patrick, on the line 2610,
2610 and delinquent parking fines.
you were asking for $320,000 increase.
I would have the total be 500,000, so I guess it was a 330.
Okay,
Increase it to 500,000.
okay.
Yeah, I gave him on mine, this would be what the budget figure would be. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, no, I just want to clarify, I'm using it. No.
We should have probably, I was thinking next year, we should decide ahead of time whether we're gonna say
Yeah, so,
what the total is or what the, you know what I mean? Because
I wasn't suggesting to high number, but since you are suggesting I can align with you on that one.
I'm looking at, so I want to just make sure I get it the way that increase to $500,000. So that would be, it was originally 170. And I'm just looking at my notes from when they talked with us the other day. Oh, yeah, because, well, there's 1 point something million, 3 years or less. Yeah,
Okay, so based on that, then I'm gonna, Commissioner of Finance, I would like to adjust that line to align with, Ms. Patrick on mine.
and I
You heard
agree.
it.
2610M.
Sorry, what was that?
2610M,
M as in Mary?
yes,
And what's the adjustment?
I'm gonna align with, Ms. Patrick's number,
500?
yes.
But I did say in my notes, because I did not figure this out, like, I figured we'd be all talking about this tonight, but we need to see what that would mean in terms of the increase in the expense for the salaries of that overtime, or whatever I mean, basically, I think,
They don't have overtime, this is the.
not overtime, I'm just saying,
This is the
we would have to
collection.
adjust how much more time they would need to,
This is the.
oh, this is the
This
uncollected.
is the
Oh,
company.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Did you get clarification about that 910,000? That was a big point of clarification, whether, is it 910?
Whether
For
it was
what?
included in the original budget.
Yes, I did, that's why I just mentioned I dropped it from 440 to
Oh.
220.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Did you say that?
Yes, I did. I did get clarification,
Okay,
yes, I
thank you.
did. And 220 is not included,
Yeah.
so that's why I dropped it to 220. The line just above that, yes. All right, you can, it's probably it. Ms. Porterfield.
Yeah, I'm just,
We're just trying to kind of like, align, make sure the numbers are correct, make sure it's what you asked for, now you change it.
so the delinquent parking.
You can also add stuff if you need. Please.
So yeah, no, okay, I see another error. I'm sorry. I guess I just wasn't clear on what I was suggesting on the A1622 repairs expense. I want to just double check. What I was suggesting was that total line should be 150,000. Is that what you're giving back to me? Not that we reduce. Let me look at, I want to look at your date. Hold on, 1622460.
I have a question for you when you're done with that.
I think I heard that down.
Oh, brother. I should have taken notes on my notes. Yeah. 22460. There it is.
I had minus 30,000 there for myself. Figure out why under repairs.
So
And
the
it makes change.
200, we've already spent 100.
Based on the conversation we had,
Oh, I did mean for it to be 150, right? Oh, yeah, because, okay, wait a minute. It's one, yeah, I'm reducing it by 20. So the proposed was 170 and I'm saying make it 150. Okay. So
So then it should be the reversal.
it's a reversal of the two numbers. See, I was reducing it by $20,000, so the total would be 150.
Which line is
That's
that?
A 1622460, just reducing it by $20,000 to 150 because we've almost spent, I was basing it on the history, the year to date of this year. It's just the two numbers just need to be reversed.
Sorry, what line again was that?
It's in the expenses, 1622460. I want to change it by reducing it $20,000 to 150.
Ms. Patrick, can you go back over the adjustment that you made to line A2610M and just tell me why it happened again?
I was thinking that they were going to be doing more of those patrols to try to
Right?
let me see. It's
M as in Mary,
because we had,
are we looking at?
There was over 1 million uncollected, you said.
I have
You
that,
just
yeah,
said,
Yeah.
6 months away, yeah.
yeah. So I was trying to bring more of that in.
Okay, so, and so you went from, okay. I'm trying to see if I could,
I think they said, let me find my number here. They're saying the mayoral budget says
170,
170 and I'm
Mhm.
saying 500.
you're saying 500.
I know that's a reach and we're gonna have to figure it out. But
This is a conversation, I mean, the collection agency is ramping up the mailing.
Mhm.
Getting started in November last year, it's kind of new for them, so they're kind of pushing it out. The tickets, the mailing, so.
So yeah, that was the line I was, based on the conversation, I was saying like, I could feel comfortable increasing.
I'm happy to bring it down.
No,
mean,
no, no.
I know
I
we're gonna
think
still
you
go
and
through all these and try to
you
come to
guys are already
consensus,
aligned.
but
I'm just saying.
I don't want to overestimate revenue, believe me, but
No, I hear you. Yeah.
that's when we get in trouble.
It was in a specific, you know, from that same change in my section before the.
Like some market funds?
Correct.
What is your number,
It's-
Williams?
It's M, right?
Yes, 500,000.
So you're confident that we'll get there based on the company?
Still, I mean, outstanding. Fees there are, it's anticipating with some of that, not all of it.
Mhm.
Once they had a rate of return that they mentioned during the presentation.
They did, but it's hasn't been operational for so it's trending upward. But yeah, so but I don't remember what their rate of return was on that.
I didn't write that down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't really give us a rate of return. They
I
gave
have,
us
I have a note here, up to 3 years of ticket, they have 1.2 million.
Uncollected.
Up to 4 years, doesn't include the 1.4 million.
Mhm.
So they are working on the newer tickets and they're going backward in terms of sending out kind of thing. Up to 5 years, it's an additional $1.6 million.
So also what I'm trying to do is see if I can get closer to some, and that's what I'm highlighting.
Yeah.
Mhm,
By some majority closer to.
Mhm. That makes sense.
So that's where you can look at each other's
mhm.
column and then like ask question and realign yourself.
Yep.
I actually did use this. That's why
Oh, you
the
did?
other night, if you recall, I didn't want to just sit here and do it. I wanted to be able to see everybody's changes, so I waited until the next morning when I saw everybody's changes so that I could try to.
That's cheating.
Under that line, okay, with the M, I'll put another 100,000, I'll put 100,000.
Which one?
Oh, I can't go up to 500,000, I think.
No, it's fine.
Delinquent,
Whatever
it's
you-
delinquent
yeah.
parking
I'm
funds.
comfortable with 2610 Emerson Mary, adding 100,000, please, Mr. Supervisor.
270.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to
okay.
270. People don't normally like to pay their bills. Like,
Yeah, they weren't paying the bill because we weren't reminding them,
Okay.
but now they started to get reminder over the last, year, last year, November to now. And we did receive, $130,000 against that line, the actual,
Right.
as of, the last couple of days, we had the follow-up meeting.
So is there a consensus to raise it 400 or 300?
Well, we're just, resubmitting any changes now, and then we'll have to realign. Because there are some that are realigned back to 330,000.
In other words, when we start our discussion, we might all come to
We'll
consensus
see
a little
where
bit
we
better,
are in
right?
terms of
Yeah.
how many of us are in alignment
Yeah.
with it. And if not, then we'll have to open discussion on where we stand and move numbers around.
Can I just say that the new speed sign camera, I know it's passed twice and waiting for the governor to go on. That's an anticipated amount. Are we sure we're gonna get that? Would it take a long to be able to?
I feel the government been acting in a affirmative manner, and I don't know when. It's given the city of Alton. What we're basing some of those numbers on is, well, Albany did or didn't do some of the components of it. Hopefully, we're gonna learn from that, so that's what.
So when they were giving a presentation on that, they had a pretty solid,
Yeah,
they had a pretty solid reasoning behind that. I
yes.
think the main variable is when the governor will act on it.
Right.
But they were calculating by 20 zones both ways, and he was really conservative on based on what Albany said. So I was pretty comfortable with that, but just again, the major variable will be what the governor's going to do or when.
It's just not under everybody's line, I guess.
Yeah, because what the presentation was done, it was very detailed, so that's why they can explain why is it 2.3 million. It was detailed and kind of walk us through as to how we arrived at that, in terms of the zoning, in terms of the, all of some stuff.
Push that to 70 to. So,
So I guess we should keep checking our numbers, right?
Do you have any more? If you have any more changes? So for your notes, do you have any more changes in terms of expenditure, in terms of revenue? This is the moment to do it. Go ahead, please.
So line A2610 M as in Mary, I could, based on what I'm hearing, I mean, I still think 5 is steep, but I could definitely, I would feel comfortable moving that to 300 as a total.
Come on, round these numbers up.
Well,
No, I mean, again, when we come back
Yeah,
after
no,
you
I'm
give the
chasing you
studies in,
now.
we can,
I'm trying to
chasing
get
you
some-
down.
because I mean,
We're too
when we see
serious.
everything, I might go down to 300, but I'm just saying, when it comes back to us.
Yeah. I'm just kind of identifying the lines that, I think that they're,
Are we talking?
that we can, kind of draw to close a consensus of, and obviously based on what that presentation was, I did think that. In fact, I thought that the speed cameras would end up could produce more. Based on what the presentation was, but I
Based
just
on the way
again,
people drive?
yeah,
No,
just
I'm just
based on
kidding.
no,
I'm just kidding.
The presentation, it seemed like it could be significantly more, but again, I'm that's a major variable as to when that's going to happen. So
Go ahead, Mr. Ford.
So I wanted to keep, actually add $100,000 to the contingency line. Just because of the fires and things in the past year, even though we didn't spend as much last year, but seeing Ms. Carter's email about, the demolition and how much CDBG money was there. We wouldn't even need to increase it because we could use that for demolition. So-
That was,
Um, So under contingency A 1989, 485. I won't add $100,000 to that one.
Could you please tell me the number again?
A 1989, 485.
Sorry, but you're not adding 100,000?
No,
So
you're not. I did. I wanted to because of, that's
No, you were
specific.
taking out.
You were taking-
Oh, no, I wanted, no, I wanted to increase that line by 100,000 just
So you
because
went
of
back to
that.
400.
Right.
But then, based on the email that we received, today from Ms.
Right.
Carver, can we, utilize that money under this line? Instead of 400,000, 400,000, can we, set aside, CDBG money to help with demos?
Isn't that what your
Under this
email?
line?
So based on my conversation with her, and we've been to the hearing, speaking with, and I was told to the council, there is money in, as she explained, but it has to be in the CDBG area or the NRSA.
Mhm.
But I believe she said 85% of the city falls into that category. So we should be able to use, I didn't ask for all 223,000, but I thought that we could use at least 200,000 of those funds to do that. So,
Yeah, it's money that is available, so why not, use the
Available.
CDBG and help them to offset those, money that is lingering out there?
and it's been sitting, we've had it since 2022.
Yeah.
So,
And I just, on that line, my figures are transposed again, so my total was 350. So instead of the 400, I had it at 350, which would have been a reduction of 50 in expenses. See that line?
Yes.
It's just in the wrong columns, but I'm happy to go to 400 too, if everybody else is, but right now, let's just keep it, so that it would be 350 on my, till we get to the discussion point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, based on contingency, we have to be sensitive with contingency. Things happen, but we have money available on the CDBG that we can able to say, okay, the proposed budget is calling to use 400,000. We have 200 and change, 200,000 plus under CDBG to be used towards demo and lighting, those categories. Why don't we back out 200,000 from this and use the CDBG 200,000?
So
So keep this as 400,000, but use 200,000 from the CDBG funding.
but we
But
have,
we-
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead,
But
you.
we have to put it somewhere, and that's what I sent in when I sent it in, that we have to put it somewhere, we have to show that CDBG in the revenue line. Somewhere, we're gonna have to show it.
So, Commissioner, how do we do that?
I think you should say the way you're doing with youth employment.
Okay,
So we're not putting it on here. The contingency would come out of the operating, but the line of contingency would be removed from,
Well, if you're keeping
well,
half-
actually, no,
if
it would
you're
be
keeping half of
200, it would be 200.
There, and then the other 200 being for CDBG, is that you're treating youth employment?
But the other 200 will go back to the general fund then.
yes,
We leave 200 within the revenue line here, and then,
take 200 from CDBG, the 200, yeah, you're correct, 200 go back to the general fund.
so when it happens, like if a house burns down, gets torn down, or whatever, then they would invoice and be able, in the right area, under the
Right.
right circumstances, just wanna be clear what Ms. Carter said, then they could invoice the money from there as opposed to saying here, as opposed to if it happened in part of the city that didn't fall within those guidelines she explained.
Right, so essentially there's 400,000 in the proposed budget, and that 400,000 is coming out of our general fund. Now we're going to substitute 200,000 of that for that line, so 200,000 should go back to our general fund, correct?
Yes.
That is correct.
Okay, so it should show up in the budget, so we don't want to take,
No, we don't want
No,
to.
no, you won't show 200,000 in the budget. No.
Because the CDBG would be the other 200.
right,
Right. Okay.
So we're gonna show 200 on that one.
right.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
So Ms. Patrick, you're the only one on this line asking for it.
I will take it out.
Yes,
I'll take it out.
because we have to be sensitive with contingency to use for those kind of things.
I would like to use
So,
the CDBG.
Commissioner, you have that noted as,
200 for across the board?
yes.
I do want to remind us all of what Ms. Carter said about what type of reporting has to be done. But for some reason, we didn't have to do any of that reporting for the 150 CDBG for youth. But would we have to do that type of reporting for this 200,000.
No, they have
No,
to-
we have to do it for the youth as
Too.
well. The
Every-
Parks
every-
Department would
really?
have to
Every
do it for
dollar
the youth.
spent.
You did say that.
Every dollar spent
I'm
with
sorry,
CDBG, they have to submit a timesheet,
Well, the
report,
invoice.
invoice.
So again, it's a lot of work that I don't want to do another individual, but it's not worth it, but I forgot.
They have to know, they need to spend it. That's the
But-
money for current year, yeah.
But, so I got my questions mixed up. How come we can put the 202 and the 206 in there? Under.
Staff and code enforcement,
Right,
That's for staffing.
oh, staffing, so, okay.
primarily staffing, right? So they will submit.
Yeah.
Kind of easy for them, they just have to make sure they're getting a timesheet or any.
Oh, absolutely, so I just wondered why we had that up in the police federal, but.
And I think the same thing can happen with the youth employment too, they get their timesheet also, if we approve which paying them, they can access a timesheet for the youth program. And probably that with the invoice and the necessary form and application into there. So they have to work something out with Mr. Sarah, so they have, you know, it's a little bit more work, but they need to do it and spend the money down, because if they don't, then next year, some of those money is,
Go back.
it's gonna go back, and we should allow that. So that's why we're kind of focused on tapping into all these markets.
Better check the rest of them. I see why you thought, I know why the mistake, because I said decrease. And so you decreased it, but I meant that it was a decrease, not that it was only, my line was the total that I wanted to see in the budget. So I understand what you guys did. Sorry about that. We all did it differently, in other words. Ten. Oh, am I missing the fleet manager someplace? Oh, no, there it is, okay. Enforcement officer.
Ms. Porterfield, anything else?
No, good point. So, you know, in terms of course, if there were things I agreed with, I just didn't include it in mine, so I don't have any change except, I was thinking about, I beg your pardon?
No, sorry, go ahead, sorry, no, sorry.
I was thinking about doubling the delinquent parking fines, but everybody else seems to only want to raise it by 130, so. Since they're being, we're, you know, it's only from a certain part of the year, but if we wanted, I'll agree with the additional 130.
Well, no,
It's one.
No, we're bringing
You're bringing it to 300,000.
330, so that will bring it to 500,000
Oh, 500.
overall, yes, that's what.
Oh, you're bringing it up that much. Got it.
Yes.
and you're
That's
saying,
like,
you're saying you're comfortable doubling it.
I had initially asked for that when I did my,
The
stuff,
delinquent
but I
parking.
dropped it after, they were like a little bit of concern.
So you're on line, the one with the M,
Yes.
2610M.
Yeah.
And I'm the only, if I'm the only person, that's what I'm saying, if
No, I
I,
went back, I revert back to my original
oh, and
number.
Carl, Mr. Williams also has it at
And
500.
Mr. Williams, did that. Mr. Farley at 300,
Yep,
300.
and
And I said double, which makes it 340, but, so you're saying, but I'll go with the 300.
Right. So,
Okay.
and Ms. Chatora was 270. So you and I and Mr. Williams would go from 500 to 300 if we agree, but,
No, we're 500, 500, 500.
okay, and then we'll talk about it.
That's not the number, that's not.
Okay,
Huh?
it's just trying to get us to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's got me confused, so
What's
that's
up?
500 and 300 on that line.
What is your change?
No, I'm not changing.
Oh, you didn't.
No, your number changed.
Oh,
No, it sounds like Mr. Williams, me, and
Yes.
Mr. Muda, 500,
Yes.
and
oh, that's what that's,
Okay.
sorry, yes.
For A 2610M, you are all at 500?
Those three are at 500.
Okay.
but we can talk about that one, you know, I'm
Mhm.
willing to compromise.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm. When we get to that part of the
Yeah,
conversation.
that's fine.
during you were at like 270,
This is where
right?
we're gonna flush it out.
Yeah, so, and you're at 340.
Which is,
So it sounds like, we could compromise to get it to
Yes,
4, right?
yes.
So let's get it updated and then we'll.
Just do
Then
4,
we'll come
everyone
back
can
and
be
talk
done
about
with it. Okay. That's all I. That went away.
But give yourself another 10, 15, 10 minutes more and let's go through it and then we'll
Okay.
provide, as the machine to make these changes. And then bring it back to us.
Yeah, I think I was the only one, was it yesterday? Feels like it was about 100 years ago, but it was yesterday when we submitted these recommendations. Oh, I
Well, we
submitted,
submitted the
you
day
guys,
before.
yeah, I submitted
Yes,
yesterday.
we did.
I don't think everybody did expenses, so that's why we still have to get everybody's changes to the expenses.
Well, we did
Some people-
some expense were submitted. You didn't submit, you want to.
I got mine, I submitted all mine, they're on here, That's what I was just saying.
So, Mr. Mayor, after we take the next 10 minutes to review this, are we going to come to consensus on each of these lines before you give it to him?
No, we'll go back and look at the updates that we provided, put that into the sheet and bring it back
Easier
to
than
us,
our
and then
scribbles.
we'll continue our review. We have new
Is
numbers,
that okay with you guys?
so, deal with it.
Excuse me.
You need to align your notes with that.
Just a thought, maybe it'd be easier for everyone to have consensus in the revenues and make the adjustmts, and while Eric's doing that. Discussion about the expenses.
Because you have to fill in those columns.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
that
that's.
would be a
That's smart.
part of it, yes. So once we finish with this here, and then we can, if we have any changes, then we can run it to line. So add more changes, yes.
Mr. Mayor, putting which one number now. They can run the numbers now.
Yes, okay. Any other changes on the top section? And then we'll go into our expense section. And then we'll give that to additional if we have. Yes, whatever, changes that was recommended again, just please update the sheet accordingly.
Okay, so you want to go with.
Yeah.
Just a question.
Go ahead, please.
There's a number of changes that were expensive, such as, management salaries going up 3%. If that's okay with everyone, I will do those expenses also. If it make it.
It's not everyone,
It's agreement of everyone that will change.
yeah, go ahead and change whatever you have there that's recommended to change, go ahead and change that. And once we have any additional change, we will run it to you guys.
Just
I-
for the
I didn't
appropriate
make-
fund balance, I just wanted,
Yeah.
you can change me to align with Mr. Williams and Mr. Porterfield, because they seem to be aligned with their numbers as well.
$1 million.
Yep.
What is that?
You mean taking an
Yeah,
extra million?
for appropriate fund balance.
Oh,
Yeah, because how it reflects here is actually, I'll say maybe I miscommunicated that. Yep.
So you want to go to, instead of taking 4 million, you want to take 3 million.
There we go.
we can go through our expenses, see if we have any additional. And then you can also, at the same time, when we finish our expenses, we can go through the capital and make any,
Yeah, I didn't take a
recommend, yeah, so we can, let's go through the expense for us. And we can highlight any changes, you may have. It's not on your, was amendments. You're asking to reduce the council member salary?
I was just thinking that we should not take the raise. So that's what I meant by that. So keeping it at
There's a
what,
raise already there that you're receiving.
but
Nobody,
that would be 2025. I
Yes.
mean, for 2026, I was.
no, there's no raise. The raise that you're receiving
that's right.
already, that you already have. That's what you get.
I thought that it
The
was
four
in there.
members
I
are
thought it was
receiving,
in the.
four members are receiving the raise that
Right,
passed
I
3
misunderstood
years
that.
ago.
So we
2
can take
years
that out
ago.
of my notes,
So,
right? Yeah.
No, you had two parts of your notes. So it's not a raise. The raise happened a year or 2 years ago.
Gotcha. I would keep
Four
it at,
members are receiving it, 3 members are not.
I'll keep it at
until
the
next year.
119 that's in the budget.
And you're asked to not, to reduce it also because don't hire, don't fill the vacancy.
Well, that, I don't even know what the number, in other words,
Yeah, but you-
I've
you
already
have-
said
you
that
have
when
that
we
in your
had the
notes
first,
also.
I did, that I thought we should wait until the election of, I said that when we were talking about,
Hmm.
but that's a
That's
discussion
it,
for another
that's in
time.
your email to change, I think.
But I'll keep it at the 119, if that's what, see how it's 119
Yes.
currently?
Yes.
I'll be happy to put it at 119,
Okay,
not make a change.
okay. Is that in your change? I think that was submitted to them.
It was, yeah, so just take it off the
Check
Excel
your
spreadsheet.
10, 100.
Got it.
So you will have to make a note on that, please.
I,
On the side.
I'm crossing it out right here.
You'll have to submit that, yes, submit that to them.
Oh, because they left the room.
Yeah, they
That's
like
what you mean.
to,
Gotcha.
so you will
gotcha.
have to make a note on your,
Yep.
your change.
I had forgotten, by the way, when I said that, I had forgotten both tiered kind of way that we.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
4 and the
Yep,
3.
yep.
And then the 1 vacancies, and you can't just factor out the vacancies. You just need to fill the vacancy and have a full body function.
Well,
on the
that's a
council.
discussion for another day,
Yes.
right?
Can remove the position and then we decide to fill the vacancy, how we gonna fund it? We'll take money out of Mr. Toro. Savings.
But, well, again, if you want to talk about it now.
No, we're not, we're not.
Okay, because
We're
the
gonna
way
have
that
to-
I'm suggesting doing it, we would only have a couple of months of salary that we would have to
Yeah.
put in for that one person.
I'm sure that will be another discussion sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through the expenses and then just go line by line.
No, but just go through, not really line by department, and if you have any suggested change, just make notes, and we can run it to, the vacancy.
Because that's how it said appear, like the proposed budget is 263 for A 162,121, the proposed is 263,935, but no one recommended change. So then we could just go to the next line. I mean, that's, to me, just easier, so we get all clear what our changes are. If they're different than what we already put in.
Oh, you want to, yeah, we could do that too. This is gonna be a little yeah.
Unless any of these are posted.
Yes, I was just, when I submitted my changes, I was following the same format, since I was waited to see what you all did. I used the same format that was presented back, so if I felt that something should be the same, I still wrote it down. They put it onto this.
All right, so they did or did not?
They did, so
Okay.
like when you
Alright.
see, dog shelter, for example, 3510400. My suggestion was, I want to keep that in there at $10,000.
Okay.
So that's the same as what the mayoral budget actually had.
So that means everybody's in agreement with blind.
Let's.
Well, no, it was just me so far because nobody else had.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's one of those nice PowerPoint presentation.
So like A 161,121, that's where right now.
I don't see any changes on the sheet that they gave us. That were submitted. No one made changes on that line.
Which line?
The second, well, second expense line, A 161, 121. There's no changes from the proposed budget. Not showing here anyway.
I'll move on to the next one.
Well, unless anybody else wants to change it. I left it at what, the 263 is what's in the budget.
Everyone did.
Oh,
You'll
I don't
see
s- Okay.
it. So just use the sheet. Use the sheet.
I am, yep.
And then if you
Might-
go down, you'll see there's no changes across the line. So that means that no one.
Oh, I just figured you guys hadn't submitted your stuff yet. Okay,
So why don't I follow this pattern? Let's go through.
gotcha.
Go through that
So there's
quick,
no changes in any of these.
Just roll the pages.
For any
If
of
you
them.
have any changes, let's document it. Council, any changes?
I withdraw my changes.
Mayor's office.
Where do you see that?
You're going through this.
I'm going through this quickly.
You're going through that instead of.
Yeah, you gotta go through this.
Yeah. It's
Why don't we just
We
use
don't have
that?
everybody done.
Everybody had that.
People submit,
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought those were
This
blank
one will
lines.
not be. A lot of us focus on revenues.
Yeah,
And we focus on dive into the.
I did go
expense.
through every expense,
only-
and that's why it took me so long, Thursday morning or whenever it was.
right, but this. So I guess, is there anyone that wanted to submit changes that didn't submit changes in expenses? I guess
That's
that's,
what I wanted to go through a quick.
well, if there
10
wasn't,
minutes.
if anyone says it, if no one has, then it'd be better to go through this sheet, because
Otherwise, you're gonna go through every line,
that you don't
which
have.
is what I already did.
Just off.
I would say the more time, the more cumbersome to go through all the departments. I think we should have one consensus, and then if there's any added.
Your call. I mean, that's what
That's what I'm saying.
you were suggesting.
Because my understanding is everybody went through this, submitted any changes that they had. If something comes up after during our discussion, it's fine, but at least I believe we've gone through the budget, so. I made recommendations. And then we also, like, even with the manual increases, those were recommendations that I've already been down here, there's on the back, and the fees and services. So that's my recommendation, but, others can weigh in on that.
Yeah, I didn't make any changes to the mayoral budget on the salary lines. That's why you didn't see anything from me.
Well, when we get to the, manual raises, that's gonna show up, and also the fees for services.
Okay, so what line are we on now?
1612121. My college was going to be able to see that change, but if I can remember, Mr. LaFawn was saying there was an individual that they were going to be still researching, and if that person was qualified, they just had that back in. I said, based on future conversations, and if we have addressed itself.
Okay.
So does that mean you want to keep it at 263,935?
Yep, what
Yeah.
I'm saying, for the listening.
But for the MEOs,
Just five.
that's what you said.
But
That's what you said.
Mr. Milligan, do you want to take us through these lines or do?
Yeah, we can go for the next one is repairs.
And again, just remember that my numbers got transposed, so.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So 1662, 460.
Mhm.
Yes.
I was changing it from 170 to 150.
Mhm.
You're going down 150.
Wiping out the whole line.
Oh, I got you now. Okay, okay.
You were wiping out the whole line.
No, I went from,
Yeah.
the total on the mayoral budget is 170, I'm saying go to 150. And I'm totally open to discussing all
But
this.
that was based on the year to date.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, based on the year to date, I could support that.
And I also, I used, the things that I used were, year to date. I relied heavily on the finance, summary. And that was mostly what I did.
Can you just give us the year to date? Do you have it written down?
No, I can look it up. It would take me 2 seconds. So this is repairs, right? 1622. And remember, this was at the end of September. It was
Right.
99,869.09. Was what we've spent as the end of September. 100,000. And I will have to look in my notes to see if they told us that what they anticipated. That would have come from Mr. LeBron's presentation. Actually, I'd have to look on this one too, then. 1622. Repairs.
Small year for repairs.
Yeah, I was going by the actual one.
All right, let's go to the next one. Job agency, we addressed that.
Mm-hmm.
Senior center,
I think we all
Senior-
wanted to
senior program.
put in 40
yes.
across the board. We talked about that the other
Yeah.
night, I think.
Mhm.
And I think we all in agreement with the contingency.
Mhm.
Administrative expense, 83120.
402. That was
31,
31,
402.
Civilians, doing,
Mr. Williams is suggesting taking 25 down. Let me look at.
So this point, there's no consensus, we just, I'm making notes of that, or remove that.
Well, let's see why you said it. and
Yeah.
that's-
Well, like I said, but essentially it was a year to date, and by small marginal gains.
I would suggest you remove it, it's there, let's, when we come back, let's discuss it and then we can adjust it.
I'll make a note on the year to date. So I don't have to look it up again.
For some reason, we have 48.
All right.
3411.
You're right.
3411.
Instead of restraining.
Yeah, I felt, yeah,
It's the same.
I just felt like they definitely should still have their training, EMS.
Who's that?
Oh, yeah.
It's 144 in the mayoral budget, so I kept it at 144.
Yeah, nobody changed that.
Nobody changed it.
Well, again, I didn't have, when I was doing it, I didn't have any, I didn't,
Oh, yeah, no, it's just, no need
Yeah,
to-
yeah, yeah,
yeah, we're all on the same page. on that.
okay, yep,
Perfect.
so that one's good.
Yeah,
Oh, Mr.
Yep. And then the dog shelter, maybe nobody wanted to change it. I was just going by what I had in hand when I was doing my work.
but that's what they have, so there's no
Yeah.
change in there, so.
Yeah, that is what's in the budget.
Yeah.
So everybody's in agreement to do that dog shelter for 10 grand. Okay,
No,
No, they don't have
no,
it.
it's already in the budget, we're not making any changes to that,
okay.
so.
I
what
should
you
just
need
tell
to
you
do is
that I
strike out-
said, that says same on my
Yeah,
list.
so
Okay.
you should strike it out and that's not changed. That should be considered as any change.
They don't have it in the line.
If it's
for-
not changed.
It's
we don't
okay.
need
I
to
was just,
document
I
it.
went through every line and just
Yes.
noted whether it should stay the same or
Because,
increase or decrease.
If we have numbers, then we're looking like it's a change,
Mhm.
but it's not. So we can strike those out and have them remove it from the sheet. So you have 10,000 removed, 144 removed.
Now you can go to the next one and it's the same thing then if everybody agrees. So it would
One.
stay at 475,083,
The MEOs.
the NEO.
51, 10.
5110, 121. I was just saying, keep it the same as what it says in the budget.
And I have a note here that the positions were vacant.
Yeah, vacant anyway, I have the same thing.
That's what my notes
Yeah,
said.
it's fake.
Yeah, but they both are book funded.
No, it's not.
Last year it was.
Last
funded?
year.
Last year, right, last year.
There's that. So we agree that we're not going to be putting these in here, so we can just strike that 870 from 10 because we said we're gonna do it differently.
Yep.
I can just take that out.
Mhm.
So there's no changes, so let's take that out and now this shoot down. The next one is youth employment. We don't need to do nothing there.
Mhm.
That is through CDBG.
Mhm.
And all of us are in agreement. The next one is 8161.
8161. Doesn't look like there's any change there either. By anybody.
7.
Oh, do we know this? Well, I guess I could look over here. Hold on one second, I'm trying to look at the ratings.
Why is it on here? if There's no changes to it.
I don't know, that's weird.
John, do you, sure do you have your rate? Never mind that.
I think I recall Mr. William have come kind of like with the rates. We were told it's $17.50 and then it's actually $15.50.
For which one?
$2 on top of it. I have some notes here. That's what it was. Well, that was your concern.
That's my logic with the.
Yeah.
seasonal labor.
Yeah.
Which, where are you
Unless
guys?
anybody else had any change.
What line are you
Where,
on?
you guys, that's not on the sheet at all.
No, it's the same 8161,
Oh, okay, we've moved on, okay.
121.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be added to it for me,
Oh, I see. You just did that tonight.
yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. What's the number again, please?
So it's reducing the seasonal labor loader by half and then creating 2 labor loader positions based on that pay rate differential.
Sorry, I was following you just now, but I remember I have notes that you had some concerns. The next one is
The code officer.
8664.
And I was just saying decrease it by 1. Which is a reduction in the expenses of $65,204.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I don't see that we.
I'm down in, on this new spreadsheet that we got today.
Right, 8664, 100.
Yep, code officers. Instead of 652,040, I was suggesting taking it down 1. I thought about 1 or 2, which is I think what also Mr. Williams, right?
That's by 2. Right,
So Williams is 2.
2 additional.
And I could go to, I just was trying to be. one or two I had in my original notes, and then I just decided to put it at one. But
Okay,
my number would just be times two if we're
that's
gonna
fine.
take two
Yeah.
out.
I can support Mr.
All right, the next one is, overtime,
That's the development overtime.
yeah.
I mean, it's only $500, but I just didn't think we needed to have that in the budget. But it's only $500, so whatever everybody else.
Well, based on the feedback that we got from the director, it's like something that they need.
I had to add 500.
Yeah.
You wanted to add funds?
Yeah, I'm just listening to them, but not enough, most of the individuals are doing counting work. And that doesn't always work, I don't know, I get,
I'm happy to take it off my piece here.
I saw someone ask for it to be added in an email. Is that, it's for the field. That big it asked for this to be added.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't you?
I'm just
It's,
saying
it's
that,
in
you
the
know,
budget at $500.
Right.
And I was just keeping it at $500.
Mr.
Oh,
Farley?
yeah,
Mr.
somebody was raising it to
Yeah, we
1,000.
agreed.
That's right.
Yes.
Um,
After the conversation, I think we were like, yes, we can add back that, we should.
No, that was so.
That was, okay.
So we just have to decide if we want it to be 500 or 1,000.
Oh, well, five,
It's
it's
already
already
500.
It
500,
is
so they want to
500.
bring it to 1,000, which
Well,
is
it's fine.
$500 more.
Okay.
when Ms. Farmer gave her presentation, she
Yeah.
said that she had submitted for 1,000.
Yes.
Yes,
And we
she
could
did.
use the 500, and she could use the additional 5.
Yeah. I,
So you want to make that 1,000?
yeah, I'm gonna put that under my, as a $500 change.
Yeah, the other one was 22. Who's that?
Any other discussion on that, $500?
I think that once we get more to like, further down in the expenses, conversation might reflect back on that $500, but right now,
That's
no.
all.
Okay, the next one is 8/31/22, the overtime, and that happened because of the parking, the fine parking. Because we're increasing
The detail.
the detail, so we have to, you know, give them some resource to kind of, you know, complement that. And based on the detail that they did this year, from January to October, it's $24,000.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so we can't just say let
I
them
just didn't know
go,
what
let
the
them go
exact
bring in
number
more revenue, but we're not giving them the resource to kind of,
No, I do.
how do they work towards the revenue without any,
Right. The return.
compensation?
Yeah.
That was my note. I just wasn't sure what that figure should be.
So that was my in and out, but I asked the.
Right.
No, the number is higher because I was thinking 4 parties, so we have to double the overtime,
Right.
but now we just cut it.
So do you think $25,000
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
gonna
that's
do
the
it?
form,
Yeah.
no, that's the formula, because
That's based on what they have
Okay,
provided.
all
they
right.
said it was 50, then,
Yeah.
right.
can I just ask a question, so we put an extra $25,000 in, but what if it gets spent and it doesn't go specifically for this because
No.
they need that,
It's not specific for that.
correct?
It's
just
not,
a general.
it's there as a,
Right, but what I'm saying is they might
Bucket of
not
money.
even, I guess they might not even get out to be able to do that, to bring the revenue in, because those extra 25 times that they're going to get out, I understand everything.
Yeah, the chief said that they could do it. He said they have
Yeah,
the
they-
capacity
yeah,
to do
they
it,
have
not
the capacity.
supporting the overtime line.
they have a new system in place in the park department.
Right.
What is it?
Lieutenant,
Lieutenant,
moving up.
Yeah,
to
so-
47. So I understand that, but all of a sudden, crime rates, because there's a lot of overtime that they need
Oh,
to
yeah.
take care of, and all of a sudden, we don't have that extra, they spend that 25,000 before the 47 details have gotten out, maybe only 25 of them have gotten out.
let's say that will never happen. And if that happens, then you know what, they have to use it,
Okay.
and we'll just have to move on.
Okay.
Well, let's hope that, everything plays out, safe.
And the way he works, maybe he'll be getting a grant or something.
It's- We heard them, and it was good that we had them back,
Oh, yeah.
both, Ms.
Yeah,
Carver and the chief and the assistant chief, it was very, very helpful. All right, So I'm good, I'm good at adding, $500 back to 86. 112 overtime, $500. And the $25,000 to the, 31 from the food. A 51, 25, not 50. So that will reduce that one.
Yeah, it was 50
It
originally.
was, well, it was, because two of you said 25, I think that's.
Yeah.
But
So
it's
what
really
happened
just
was, we were trying to determine whether they factored that in the original budget. And they did, so instead of it being 50, we were trying to double it, so we just doubled it to, yeah, so you're right, so it's 25.
The next one is A 5132, 100. New hires.
We didn't do, the reason I put that out, the food manager, past year. But it's in the budget, and I'm happy to keep it in the budget, but
You took it out.
I took it out, but I'm just saying, nobody else said anything, so I'm happy to take it.
I did. Yeah, that's what I submitted, and we talked about new hire, we talked about, to continue with the mayor's, freeze into 2026 and then a new hire.
Right, so that would actually be a moot point anyway.
Yeah, because
Okay, because there is a hiring freeze, which I support.
But it's in the budget, so we have to,
take it out.
we have to adjust it. Yeah. And we have to understand that these things are not because we take them over the budget that we can't revisit them.
I
That's what
think
it
so
is
too,
here.
and I
Yeah.
kind of was like with
We can
Apollo.
always,
I
the
was
department
thinking,
can always come back to us in the next couple of months into next year and say, you know what, things are getting better. We find some savings, revenue are coming in. We would like to make some adjustments. Those things happen in any budget across the entire year.
I mean, I guess the other thing is that, I mean, my bottom line was I'm trying to figure out how to reduce that tax to our residents. So that's where I was, trying to get expenses out of the budget. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's-
Just-
we all
Just
with
wanted
you.
to have a little
But,
caveat there.
I would like to, if you don't mind, not putting anybody on the spot, what's your take on this, gosh, I gotta move my glass, 5132.
32. Oh, I'm in agreement, take it out, but the hiring freeze.
So I guess I didn't need to even put it in. I didn't need to
No,
write
you
it.
need to put it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was one of my notes, which was also, I think, definitely Mr. Mudavern and maybe everybody, but my note is, we gotta keep the
Yeah, I think we have a
increase
consensus on this.
into 2026.
So far, are you good?
Yeah.
The next one is, same thing,
Oh, folks.
81,
61 for labor load.
8161.
I wouldn't say that's the same thing. It's converted. It's converted, the seasonal line, part of that salary.
Also, this is the one that,
Sorry, I didn't notice that also. So they're moving it from SNAP to WIS. And the thought of moving that 200 plus $1,000. We identified that the salary is $15.50 plus $2. We can replace it with closer to livable wage, which would be a labor lower salary.
If we change it to,
If we convert half of that, and there's still a value to having seasonal staff members as an entryway into these positions throughout the local government, throughout the city hall, but sincerely, while we fund those salary positions, why can't we just increase?
okay, so since you're comfortable with that on your thing, I'm just gonna strike this out on it, because it's already there.
but it's still converted, though.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what.
So we're taking that out of this spreadsheet.
Under my,
Yep.
yes, so I'm
Gotcha.
striking out of it.
Excuse myself for a moment.
So if we're talking about a hiring freeze, then it's a small amount of money. My understanding of the recruitment budget for the mayor's office, it's only 10,000, but if there's a hiring freeze, I thought that the purpose of that was to be able to give somebody a rate, a hiring rate that they would accept. for A12, 10, 495, page 14.
I remember the last time we changed the language and all of that, right? Mayor, was up with that a little bit. We changed the language
I thought
to,
that was dropped out, if that's in.
No,
okay, yeah,
it's a suspicion, page 14, under the mayor. Recruitment, A12, 10, 495.
Unless it's like also related to like going to job fairs, not you just submitting like a representative from the office. I would have to do this one.
Are we asking to grab that?
Yep.
Mayor just said he didn't think it was in there.
Okay, so then, let's see.
Let me just-
I thought we were supposed to change the description. That's here. Yeah, there's some other thing to keep you kind of like use, broader use.
There's nothing in there for.
It's zero.
The mayor's discretionary account.
That's the, yeah,
That
Oh, okay.
lowered it 20,000, it's down to 10,000.
Okay.
So I want that to stay.
No, I didn't, I thought that was on the, okay, that was on, that was a different line. No, I'm not challenging, I'm not saying that 10,000, I thought it was still on recruitment.
we had moved that into next money. But I
Is it what?
think it's
We
zero,
did last year.
yeah,
It's not
and then zero this year.
All right.
Okay. The next set of proposed changes was the management raises. I made my changes to align with Ms. Farley. Mr. Patrick has a note here.
I just have such a hard time not giving these individuals, especially the contractual individuals.
Yeah, we have to do that.
We're not, right, we have to do that, but not bringing at least a raise up to someone, as we said, through their superior or their supervisor, and contractually, they're making, CSEA, they're making more than their supervisor. And I think every ask in here that's above 3% is kind of like that. Especially, I think the 17% raise for the. I just,
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I would have to say that I think that we just can't, I wouldn't uniformly do that. I would look at what was explained to us about certain people who needed to be brought up. And making sure that we're not putting ourselves in the position where someone in management is making less than someone who works for them.
I'd be open to the conversation. You know, I know the conversation initially was to not increase salaries at all. My 3% across the board was, the logic behind that was 3% is really a cost of living raise. And with the inflation the way it is, to not do that, at least that really would be a paid deduction for people. So that's where I started from, that 3% across the board. I still think it would have to be some pretty extreme circumstances to go over that for certain positions, but I'm definitely willing to have the conversation and open to it. And I would definitely defer to the mayor on line A1210. I would definitely reflect the existing number that he had in for that line. I would defer to that based on the last year's budget.
Sorry, which line are you guys on?
So we were
What
just,
things out?
well, we're talking about management raises kind of as a whole.
oh, okay.
So looking at Ms. Farley's recommendation here. The blank cells are the ones that are 3%. Anything above the 3% has a negative number. So those are the ones we can touch on. So if you want to revert back to it and bring it up to the proposed number, or we keep it the same.
I see what you're saying.
So we
So,
can discuss all the one that has a negative number in Mr. Farley's, column.
Good deal.
And I think part of also we have to discuss is the need for job evaluations. We talked about it last year. I think until we're going to have a systematic review of all the occupations within City Hall, we essentially can be just chasing salaries that are out of that salary band. So I think having a 3% raise uniformly for everyone, I'm in agreement with. If we're looking at trying to bring some other individuals up to where their peers currently are, I can accept that. If that salary, that additional salary, goes into out of grade until we can uniformly review all the functions within City Hall.
Right, this is why that study was so important, because when you also think about people who've been here for a lengthy amount of time versus someone who might be a new hire, even though they might be in a higher position in the chain here, then that's something that's why I'm, was suggesting that 3% across the board.
but I,
So do we want to go through each one of them? The first one here, that over the 3% is 2,969. Let's not mention the position, let's mention the line, please.
Okay, so
Mr. Mudavera?
Yeah, please.
Well, I guess, in my mind with these and why I didn't really look at this was that, I guess, in terms of the decision-making that went into these raises, there's probably factors in terms of
Oh, I'm sure there
performance,
are.
in terms of how length of employment, none of which is on this spreadsheet. So I kind of trust the way that the raises were done, and that's why I didn't make any changes to them. Except that I did hear the one position, I thought I had it on my list. The individual, I'm open to discussing the larger salary increase for the supervisor of receipts as was presented to us because of the longevity there, but
So Carly, you want to kind of lead this one here or no?
sure. Are we gonna go down?
Yeah,
position
anyone
by
that has a
position?
number in there, so either negative or positive, we could just,
So just, call out the number, then we'll discuss it.
this is 12, 10, 100.
They're all 12, 10, 100.
that's why
The 2969.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you gotta see the title.
But you have to
Sorry.
go to this, you have to go to this.
Go to your column, change column.
Yes.
2969.
And I believe this.
Okay,
was-
That is
okay,
over.
okay, I see what you're saying. We can identify it like that, okay.
Yes, let's identify it again.
Okay.
Let's not mention the position.
Mhm.
I think this position was to bring that position up to,
That's the mayor's office.
right, but I had a little notice to bring it up to another position in another department that was the same rate. Yes,
the police chief,
secretary.
that was the police chief,
Right.
yeah.
But my comment for every single one is going to be, but we feel confident that that position is at the rate, skill set, and compensation level. And if we can't, we'll just continue to chase salary lines. So until we actually rectify the issue, of just do we feel confident with where people and compensation is, we're just going to keep chasing. And here's an example of the finance office. Right now, they have big vacancy, deputy, and other people are doing more work, to understand and I respect. But those numbers never reduce when people are hired.
We can, put it this way, I don't see how we could be confident
Yeah, I
with
didn't think
raises.
so.
Please.
I can't see how we could be confident with raises as they're presented if we're basing the raises as presented on other raises. So therefore, we're using a formula. So obviously, any decision that we're making should be informed by the current financial situation we're in. So if, when the city is doing extremely well and has more money, then we're more likely, council was more likely to approve a raise. And then maybe a couple years down the line, money's tighter, and then we're saying, well, we need to bring this person up to this person, a different circumstance. That's why I'm saying, and I think I'm echoing a lot what Mr. Williams is saying. It's like we're basing it on a formula that it's not apples to apples as far as the increases go. So until we can really have that study done that we talked about doing, that was supposed to happen, I don't see how we could be comfortable.
Chairman, the New York Conference of Mayors does an annual study statewide positions. I forwarded that to you some time ago. So there's a basis there to compare that statewide for comparable positions. It's more difficult when you look at that. Benefit packages are not necessarily the same. So people may be paying more for their health care. They get health care for free. So it's the total compensation becomes harder to compare than the actual salaries.
May I just want to correct you on that, sorry. That was forwarded to me by Christine Primiano, and I asked you for this to be because we passed a resolution last year. We did the budget to ask the HR to do what we call a management study on
And
management
it was an
salary. And
evaluation.
I asked you, and then you referred me to NICOM. And that was it. And then I asked you that the city council passed a resolution, is HR going to be doing the study, and you never respond to me. So then after that conversation, after that conversation, I got the 2023 report from Christine Primiano. That's what I forward to the email to the council and yes, everybody, because I was hoping that we will get a more inside study of the management staff rather than but that's fine. But I just want to clarify that.
The issue.
I had a chance briefly to look at it.
I did
Yeah,
too.
yes.
Yeah,
And I just want to echo something. I mean, it's, I don't think any one of us here want to see, not giving raises or not to take care of employees. I mean, I can recall that 2 years ago when Mayor proposed his budget was a 17.5 staff reduction. And I was able to work with the mayor to kind of reallocate money and put money there to maintain that 17.5 staff position. That was a couple of years ago. And that is something that we all are working towards to make sure we take care of staff and so forth. But at a time like this, then we have to look at and say, is this the right time? Yes, we value our employees across the board. We need them to function in their capacity to provide the service for our residents. But at the same time, when we're asking for 70% tax hike, and we're increasing the cost of service are increasing, and we're trying to say, okay, we're gonna give X amount of raises. I'm not sure how that would fit well with our taxpayers out there. And I'm not discounting that we have to take care of our staff. Absolutely, we have to take care of them every year as we go, but certain times we have to be, we have to be cautious what we do.
And like us also to remember that the taxpayers here in the city as well. So that has to come into a huge play.
Yes, absolutely.
We're not only giving them not maybe what they should get, but then they're also taxpayers as well as employees. And in speaking to some of these individuals, they didn't have an issue saying that they, again, they're supervising someone who's making more than them. Somewhere in this department, all these departments, and they don't have a problem leaving or looking for. So I have been hearing that. I'm sure you've spoken to some of these individuals as well. But I do agree with Mr. Williams in the sense that, just say we give one of these positions a out of the mayor's office that we're talking about now, they're here, and God bless, and then all of a sudden, they don't, they leave. And we get someone else in there, but they automatically step into that pay grade. Pay. I don't know the answer,
It depends sometimes,
how long they've been,
right, sometimes
okay,
brought in lower level, sometimes it's comparable.
Sometimes it's experience too, and if it's competitive,
Right.
you know, make it work.
so it doesn't mean that that's gonna stay there forever. They leave and someone else comes in, okay.
Well, if I recall the conversation, correctly, we talked about the pay study. The point of us doing the pay study was because we were saying, actually, myself, and other council members were advocating for increase for certain positions based on other municipalities and all of the information that they were coming presenting to us. And that's why that baseline, relevant study that is a direct study of what we're doing in-house right now is so needed, because we're using one ruler to measure this and then another ruler to measure this. And that's why we need that baseline done. That's why the importance of that should have happened. We will end up making decisions that almost seem arbitrary.
No, so, Ms. Patrick, so,
I guess I support these. When I think about, I think that we're looking at recommendations, for example, by supervisors of their employees. I think probably performance is involved. I think longevity is involved. I think there's all sorts of factors that go into how these decisions were probably made. And sometimes things are not going to be the same across the board, at least every workplace I've ever been in.
Certainly.
You know, there's variation. So I feel that, again, I respect what we've been presented with.
But what we've been presented with wasn't department heads numbers. They were there's department heads that put in
Yeah,
raises
I
and
understand
numbers
that.
that didn't make it
Then
into
they
the
have to
budget.
negotiate it.
You
Yeah,
see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
just-
what ends up happening is what we said before, when we were, I believe it was last year, when we had department heads who came in and advocated for themselves and others. And then the conversation was, well, what happens if the department head doesn't come in here and advocate for themselves and others? Then that's not fair, was what we were being
I
told.
hear
So
what you're saying.
we're not looking at recommendations from department heads across City Hall. We're looking at recommendations that made it to the final budget. Same thing with our
Absolutely.
stipends,
I understand. that.
proposed budget, excuse me.
I mean, again, just based on my own budget experience and my own budget development experience, in a workplace, that is what happens. I mean, you put in, a department head, for example, will put in what they want, but then you have to negotiate it with the CEO, based on factors that then you come up with the final budget, and hopefully, you come to agreement on some of them, and some of them you don't come to an agreement on.
and that's what we're here, that's what we're discussing right now.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're talking, and we're discussing.
Yeah.
The department that present the budget to the CEO, the mayor
That's right.
present to the council, we have the review back and forth, and let's determine if it's the right thing to do. So whatever you echo there is exactly what we're doing here.
Right,
Yes.
right.
So,
what I'm saying-
it's our responsibility, just like how you mentioned, to say, is this the right thing to do? Or should we adjust it back and forth?
It would have been helpful to have percentages in here too. Just from my own.
We've had that.
Yeah, we did get
They gave us that earlier.
I'm just saying it would be nice it would have been nice to have it here. I guess we'll just shoot.
All right, let's keep going now.
So,
Go ahead, Billy.
my
Sorry.
question, I was gonna say, part of the salaries though, is an understanding of the work that you're doing now, not an understanding of the work that you're always going to be doing. So what happens when you're no longer doing the work? And that's where I think we need to have intentionality to say, hey, you are doing extra. I value that, I see that, thank you, and I'm also going to compensate you for that for this year. And then we evaluate that in years to come. And that's why I think there needs to be more intention in using the out of grade function. Because that would account for the extra people are doing that they might not always be doing. When we fail to do that, you then have the issue of, all right, now next year, because this person is compensated for extra work that they're no longer doing because someone else was hired, one of their peers has to now catch up to them. And then you transform that 5 years, then the salaries are all out of whack. So although these are small incremental changes, they have compounded effects on future budgets.
Correct.
So I usually don't fault individuals, I value the systems, and this system needs to be addressed.
Please.
We're just gonna have to, like, if there's gonna be a process, we have to say a process, otherwise we need to go through one and decide. What we're gonna do.
Yeah, because the line under the change, anything that has a number, it's above.
So if a couple of
Anything has a negative, sorry, anything positive, it's an add. So we need to look at actually the negative is the over, the positive is added. That was not asked. So it's probably we should strike over this. The one with a positive number was not asked for an increase.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Beyond the 3%.
I don't know what you mean. Oh, I see.
Yes.
I see. Mr. Farley has some, is what you
Yes.
mean. I see.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
So anything
Gotcha,
in positive
gotcha,
number were not asked. It was just moving into the 2025 number moved into the 2026. So what we need to address is anything in the negative. That is above. So make life easy for us.
I agree.
So it's not much, it's just 1, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9.
So what I can say is what people are calculating, what I don't want to see done is kind of taking out the intentionality that people recommend these numbers with. So I think we either do or we don't. And it sounds like there's a consensus to support these additional increases. To find a concession, I can support that if these additional increases are put in the out of grade lines.
Yeah, I can.
What, may I ask? I don't, I mean, why? I guess, I mean, why not just, if you're supporting the increases, why not just keep them the way that, I hear what you're saying for future years, Mr. Williams, I get that. But in other words, it's sounding like you would possibly accept these increases. Maybe the issue of the process could happen after this budget season. So that the evaluation, for example, the evaluation report or that you guys are, the analysis would help us in future budget years.
So
I guess I just need more clarification on.
So I'd comment doing the same thing we did last year and expecting a different change. I would say that me not doing credit to the budget. So I'd say that was the way I proceeded with the prior budget last year. Now it was me like, hey, what other tools we had at our disposal? Identify another line. Is it being used? You just want that extra.
I do, but my eyes need a break.
But is it being used as an interim?
Yeah, there should be 10 copies or 9 copies.
And also, Ms. Stafford, earlier, Mr. Williams said that if some of these races are being based on people taking on additional duties, and then if we hire somebody, they no longer have to do those duties, we're not going to reduce it salary.
Well, but I think, I think though that, again, I think that the mayor actually said, but I mean, when we go to hire the next person, we still have the flexibility of either lowering it or raising it. It would depend, I think Mr. Mudavaren said it too. It depends on the qualifications
Yeah.
that the person's coming in with. So that means that there's flexibility in it.
there's flexibility in that case, but so some of the justification for raises that were presented to us was this person, due to the lack of staffing, this person is going above and beyond and they deserve the raise. What I think that what Mr. Williams is saying and what I tend to agree with is saying, okay, well, if this person is doing that extra work due to lack of staffing, if that's a justification, well, then let's compensate them for the work that they're doing due to the lack of staffing, with the understanding that once our department is fully staffed, then someone won't be doing that extra work. But if we are compensating someone for doing extra work right now, and we're doing it and compensating them based in their base salary, then when someone else does join the team to take up that work, now we're building off of that number that doesn't reflect the value of the work that's being done.
I think though that, again, and let's use some numbers. Let's say that right now, somebody's gonna get paid. The raise is gonna bring them to $50 total salary.
Sure,
just-
I'm with
okay,
you. I understand
Okay,
what you're saying.
now, you know, because they're doing extra work or whatever.
Okay, because
Now, down the line, because remember, we have a hiring freeze. So we won't be hiring anybody to change the extra work that person is doing. So let's say in 2026, now we're looking at the 2027 budget, we'll make different decisions if the hiring freeze is off.
but you're not in a position to reduce anyone's pay. Do you understand that negotiation and autonomy only goes one way? So if someone is, to your point, if they're making $50 now, because they're doing 1.25 jobs, but they're doing 1.25 jobs based on, so once staff come in, so once we hire people.
You're right. I mean, their salaries would stay at that same. Maybe
Right.
they wouldn't get a raise the next year. You see what I'm saying, though? If
Yeah.
that's why I'm against doing 3% across the board. I think we have to look at.
But he's not just saying doing
No,
3%.
you, I think.
No. What I'm saying is that 3% across the board, and then considering the out of grade pay line in order to compensate people based on their circumstance. So if we're talking about that scenario, which was presented to us multiple times, that this person is doing things that are above and beyond, and in some places even outside of their scope of their job description, because then we compensate them with an out of grade pay line, knowing that the sustainability of permanent compensation that would be absurd, because now we're compensating you for doing 1.5 jobs. And now we bring somebody else in to take that half a job, but you're still here. We don't have any flexibility at that point. So then you'd be thinking about not giving them a raise the next year. That wouldn't, to be proactive, yeah, that doesn't make sense. To be proactive would be to have a compensation package that reflects the work that's being currently done in a way that allows us not to have to chase it later once we are staffed. You can't reduce anyone's pay. In fact, so.
No, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I guess I just would have to say that it seems to me, I guess I'm trusting that the conversations that happened between folks and their own supervisors, and then the supervisors and the commissioner of finance and the mayor took all of that into consideration. And I think there probably were lots of interesting discussions along those lines, but that's how we ended up with this spreadsheet.
No, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I would not expect any department head to make interest on the betterment of the city of Schenectady. Their job is their department, so all of their recommendations would come to benefit their department. The mayor's responsibility initially, and then ours as a validation agency, is to ensure that the city is not overextended. That's all right.
No,
So-
I get that, but I'm saying, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry, I thought you were done.
No, but I'd say, but you're knowingly trusting a system and compensation that has been identified, not just by ourselves and the justification that I outlined that you agree with, but also in the reasons that we've heard from people providing. So you're trusting a faulty process.
And each department has the right to submit
Yeah.
the numbers that they're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm a department head, I'm gonna submit a number, hoping that it can stick.
Yeah. Me too.
And that's what everybody do. The mayor has the right to do the same thing too.
right?
to submit a budget that, you know.
And then the
Feel
negotiation.
that, that's my number.
Mhm.
Department head does the same thing.
No.
It's our job to say, well, let us do our work.
Yeah.
And come up with a suggestion that, do we really need that number? If not, we just need to adjust it. If not, we just leave it there. But, everybody has a right and everybody has the right to defend their number. We can't just call them in front of us and say, well, why did you put $50?
Oh, no,
I need
agree.
$50. But in reality, maybe they need $45.
I think you and I are saying
We're saying
the same thing.
Yeah, but I'm
Okay.
trying to say, but we're going around in circles to say it the same thing over and over, but they have a right to present their number.
I
It's
totally
our
agree.
right to discuss it and say if that's the number, it should stay.
I think
Forward.
what Mr. Williams has identified is a way to get closer to the proposals by department heads, but using a tool that doesn't lock us in there, so we're not down the road looking at the circumstance that we're looking at now, where this person is, we're saying that they're doing compatible work to this person, but they're grossly underpaid. Or the inverse is that this person is doing the work of this person, but they're grossly overpaid. So that's what I think Mr. Williams is suggesting, to use that out of grade tool in order to address some of that. And I think we should be using all the tools at our disposal to kind of, to get there, because the reality is the work that the information and the work that should have been done wasn't done. So now we're in the same place that we were last year, and we should have a basis of decision to make a stronger foundation than this, because that's why we had the similar conversation last year. So to go again and do the same thing this year, I think would be irresponsible.
And so I can understand that and actually support it on some level. I remember, and I won't say the name, but there's one salary increase request that's pretty significant.
Hmm.
And the reason that, the individual came and explained why was that they were doing additional things to work with different departments that they had not been doing before. So, so my question for that would be, is that always going to be a part of their job, or is it just a part of their job now, and then it will no longer be a part of their job? And if it's only a part of their job now, then let them get out of grade pay, because, I mean, to me, it seems like that should have been the case anyway. If there's something beyond your job description that you're doing on a regular basis and that's being asked of you, I don't know why that wouldn't be out of grade pay anyway. Because generally, out of grade pay, it's like if you're doing things that are beyond your regular job description, so. So we, so that, I can see looking at it like that. The other thing I want to point out is that when you move them up, put this spreadsheet together, he just put 3% overall for everyone. And some of them are positive numbers that were not requested, so we should just make sure we look at it like that.
Yeah.
It's not a huge sum of money, but it's money.
So we should,
So strike off.
for now, yes, we should strike them out and just deal with the negative.
Well, so I'm going to suggest, well, like, you guys,
So if
you're
you-
not gonna say the
if-
title of
If you strike out, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then after $121.
It came to $121. You said $121.
Yes.
$121,000?
$121.
Oh,
So we don't have a lot to talk about here, although we're talking, but we just need to.
So Mr. Mudavan, could you just go down and you could start with those 8, start at the top of the 8, and I guess you can identify them by.
Executive secretary.
Okay, there we go.
So I guess.
Go ahead. yeah.
Well, I'm just feeling like having a discussion, an executive session on the specific, even if we're just saying a title, it might be better, but I don't know.
When you listen to the title, we don't have to go into that.
Yeah, that's why I said stay with the title and don't call them names, so don't touch nothing.
So that one, we heard the justification.
Yes. You can move to the next one. 7,482.
That's 13.
Okay, where are you at right now, John?
74.92. Sorry, the dollar amount of the
Okay.
7,482.
In Mr. Farley's column.
Yes.
Yeah.
Derek, are you able to give us a brief justification for this?
Yeah, I
If you don't mind.
already believe I touched on the ones that
Yeah.
are over 3%. Again, this individual is a wealth of knowledge, been in the city probably over 25 years. Been extensively in the finance department since we do have a staff shortage. They also, last year, because of, I guess, an inequity between, CACA member and an active member, salaries, the difference was very close. This individual took the liberty of actually, I think, a 1 or 2% increase last year, to assist with another management salary. Just to make things a little more equitable. So this, I think this individual is, deserves this increase, and is a huge asset to the team.
You have anything?
I'm
Thank you, Derek. Thank you. At the same time, do you want to touch on the next one? Alright,
13.
because the next three and then there you can help us with. 2,900 and 11,906. Not the number, sorry, but the dollar amount.
Which one's it? Are you asking for?
The one right underneath what you're just talking about.
2,900.
Yes.
So this is actually an individual, that, well, the other, position that was, the accounting supervisor assisted in the previous year's budget. This increase is due to a CCA contract. And this person oversees a CCA member, and their salary is currently higher than this individual.
Yeah, I had that note from your presentation to us earlier.
Would you mind touching the next one? Can you?
But I have to interject.
Go ahead,
I
sorry.
think we're extending an undue advantage to Mr. Gugelman because of his presence here that cannot be afforded to everyone that provided similar recommendations. So that's where my previous comment was. We either hold increasing these lines or we don't. I'm in favor of doing them, just not in the manner that they were submitted. So I think that can be our conversation. I support all of these above the 3%, just on the out of grade line, which buys us another year to do the study. And if we don't do the study, I'm prepared to have the same conversation next budget. Alright. But that protects us from inflating our staffing lines even further. And I imagine a lot of staff listening are saying, I don't make a lot anyway. So, so you're chasing salaries that don't even reflect the price of inflation or market adjustments. I agree with that, but we need to have the data to support that. Otherwise, we're just chasing inequities, to Mr. Gugelman's point.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was going to say the same thing in terms, not that it was an unfair advantage, but just that we would have to have everybody come back in. But we did hear the presentations by all the department heads, and I'm sure all of us took notes, as I did, during those presentations. Each department head gave us the justifications for, these salaries as we see them. So and again, I just want to the point about out of grade or not out of grade, I do think we need to have the salary study and, think about that. Or actually the internal staff discussion would be about that. But I also feel like, I just lost my train of thought. Let me pause there till I get it back.
And the reason why I kind of defer to Commissioner Finance, because most of these are within his,
Oh, if you can talk about all of them down the whole
like,
list.
well, I asked him to talk because a majority of these were under his, control.
Yeah, I
If
think
he,
that's
if he,
great.
if the members feel that
That's
we're
what
at a disadvantage, then I will not continue it.
that-
I'm okay with that, so.
I hear what you're saying. He might be able to talk to all of them. And you're right, there's only 9 of them, right? Or something like that. Is that what you said?
He can't talk to all of them, because one was the mayor's, one was his. There were like 3 that were his, that's why he asked them.
4,
4.
yes. But that's fine, I can discuss with you. So, that's it.
Well, we got an email on one. And so for the supervisor receipt, sent us an email
Mhm.
outlining
Mhm.
request there. I don't recall if in that email, they also asked, no, the common supervisor shares it.
Technically both.
Technically, but are you the person that put into the race?
For
County supervisor.
they were both requests, but they request their own, when coming to the department head meeting, for the budgets, for the both budget. It's a request that they give.
Was this request made by the supervisor of receipts?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get. So supervisor of receipts sent us an email and said, this is my rationale for asking for this. And I don't recall if in that email, they also gave a rationale for asking for their, county supervisor. Mr. Guthlum just gave us some information, but I don't know if they outlined it.
So, I mean, I could see supporting it in the circumstances where we're out of grade line, I'd be willing to compromise to that point. Cause I feel like it is getting a little circular, everyone's saying how much we love everyone, and we don't wanna offend everyone, and everyone knows that we love everyone. When our decisions have to be made based on what's in front of us, so I do agree that if there's a way to do this, to give everyone their 3%, and then anything above that, in the out of grade line, I don't know that if that scenario is a possibility, then I could support that.
I just remembered what I was going to say, which is keeps sickening.
Last question.
Okay, what I was gonna say was, again, I do think that next year, I don't agree that just if we do something this year, rather than putting it in out of grade, I don't think that when it happens next year, that it has to be the same way. I mean, I think that's what I was going to say before, so I'm not agreeing that we have to put it into out of grade. Because to further along that, in other words, let's say we were hiring a new person, again, that salary can get negotiated between the supervisor and or the mayor, however the process works, based on that person's qualifications and the new person and like what they're bringing to the, somebody might come in and it's an incredible person and, maybe we want to even put $20,000 extra into their salary. I think there needs to be flexibility in the hiring process, that is not necessarily, for any of us, for anybody. So that's where I'm,
But you
That
have
was
to-
what I was
but-
gonna
but
say.
You have to factor in that in the city on a good financial,
I hear what you're
standing.
saying. Mhm.
So we can do that when we are on a solid ground.
I
But
guess,
right now, we're crunching for money here. Yeah, and to add to Mr. Williams' point, in terms of, if we have an individual who working from their department, helping another department, I think that should be out of grade or some kind of like stipend or something to kind of, compensate them to kind of help backfill another department and to pay them for that extra service that they're doing to help keep that department flowing, rather than a salary increase. So I think that we may want to consider that too, because we have people cross in the various department helping each other. And I think they need to be compensated rather than a salary.
I think that there's,
I think that was Mr. Williams were echoing, quite some, a couple times,
right, and
not this meeting, but at the, previous meetings, so.
and it happens in other departments in the city, right? I know, and now that is contractual. But however, the justification is if I'm in water and then I have to go work in waste, the hours I work in waste, I get the bump based on the hours I work in waste.
Mhm.
I don't go to waste for 2 months and then my salary remains for the rest of the year, whether I'm in waste or in water. So if we're looking about an equitable solution, then I think that this is it.
But I think that's the reason why they're 15.50 and they're getting that $2 because they're working at various, if you work in this department, you will get that. So it's an incentive to, yes, you are picking up across the various department, but there's an incentive to do that.
It's also been negotiated as part of the collective bargaining agreement.
Certainly, right.
yeah, we can't, that you don't touch.
No, I'm
No, we
not,
just referencing.
I'm
Yeah,
not touching it.
That is good.
Well, see, the thing is, we can't, well, then I think that we have to be careful because what we're saying is, well, we want to bring someone up based on on what their counterpart is making that is contractual. So either we're making that consideration or we're not. Because now we're talking about comparing it to someone that's contractual when they're moving departments and that's okay there. So what I'm saying is that, our commissioner just said this person that he was talking about, is doing a lot of work and helping in other departments. And I'm like, that's great. And that person should be compensated for that. Their base salary shouldn't reflect that because that's not what their scope of work should be. Their scope of work is what it is due to so it's like a person working essentially overtime because they're doing more work. When you go work and work overtime, you get paid for overtime. We don't say you worked overtime 2 weeks, your next 2 months, your salary's gonna reflect overtime, and that's kind of how I feel like we're approaching doing things the way we're doing it now. So we're going, so as we're going down, are people gonna make their position known on these where we're at, or what are we doing?
Mr. Lerner.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead, please.
so Mr. Gupta, when you're deciding, determining how to grade pay, how is that, how do you look at that?
Well, there's a process, I mean, it's difficult, I don't know, for example, the supervisor seats, I don't know, they don't have anyone above them to pull out of. Usually, if you're going to be at a grade, there would be a person above or a title above that position to pull from.
So what happens when they're helping another department that has not been traditionally part of their job responsibility? How does that work? And because,
Are you looking for a particular position that you're speaking of?
well, we're talking about supervisor receipts because that the individual sent us an email that explained that I only did this before, but now I'm helping this department, I'm helping all these various departments. And therefore I'm requesting this additional compensation. So that's how we got to this number. And so I understand that you would pull from different, if they had somebody over them. So in the event that they don't, in this case, they don't, but the thought process is to try to give them out-of-grade pay. Would there be a process for that? Because now they're doing things to help us, another department, according to their email, on a pretty regular basis, that if I'm going to, make it, it's not part of their normal job description.
Some of these expanded the responsibility, that particular position, and it's how do we share more information? The city is a lot less siloed since I've been there when I came in. I use the supervisor of seats as one position. The first indicator of a distressed property is non-payment of property taxes. Never looked at that. We have crime analysts that do all this high analysis of crime and other things, and they never looked at property tax. It's when that starts, if we look for some type of intervention, is it somebody who has walked away from the property? Is it somebody, might be a senior who needs some support, they're not paying their bills? And it's taking that information and referring it to another department or other departments sharing the information. And we're doing similar things with police information, with fire department information, with code enforcement, to try and, again, better focus the resources of the city on high needs individuals and high needs locations. And it's how do you, when you have the problem identified, how do you solve it? And not just the police get called at 2:00 in the morning and end up putting a Band-Aid on the problem. And then the school district is there the next day for truancy issue, and then social services there, and follow without sharing that information so that everybody knows what's going on to see what the real problem is. And so her role has expanded to, again, working, it's always been done before, but works more closer to the law department and other things for foreclosure process, sale process. And again, she does a great job, and that's the salary I'm recommending for.
And that's what she's asking for also, right?
I don't know, we don't know what
She-
she asked for, we know what.
Oh, no, but I mean, I see, okay, in terms of her email. in
Wasn't
terms
there
of her
some
email, she
licensing?
says-
I'm trying to real estate license, or if you got some sort of license that she's trying to get, or she can't.
I think that was
Is
mine.
that right?
I think that was-
That's the assessor's office, not finance.
Or mixing it up, yeah, I think she, yeah, something. That's okay. No, that's okay, yeah, I'm mixing up, yeah, I'm mixing up to the assessor.
We thought she got a license, but it really is, the assessor's office.
Yeah. And that's what justified that, yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. We can always repeat for this. The next one is 3,114.
Boom, I made my recommendations.
Yeah.
So you want to reduce from what the mayoral's budget has? You
I'm
wanna
sorry,
Reduce the
what-
salary?
What line are we on?
I think,
3114.
so it's line, 1410-100.
They're all, let's see.
Oh, they all are, I'm sorry, so. yeah. Deputy register, deputy
Give you the
registrar.
amount? Give us the amount?
He did, somebody did, it is the 3114
Okay.
in Mr. Farley's column.
So we provided, Mr. Gilmore to give his explanation, this position is within the clerk's office to be, give her the same opportunity to explain that, Mr. Rivera.
If there's I don't know, it's good.
I support the increase, so.
This particular position, is an increase because she supervises somebody at the CSCA. And with the mayor's proposed budget is like $100 and some dollars more than the CSC budget.
So, wait a minute. So you don't want,
The deputy registrar
yep.
has staff under her,
Mhm.
and with the CSA increases last year, or this year, makes more than she does. What the mayor proposed is only about $100 more than the union.
I see. So I see what you're saying.
Can I just clarify something? Just so everyone understands how this is working too, so. The mayor's proposed budget for this line,
Mhm.
52,000, with only a 3% increase, would bring that down to 48,000. So higher than 3%.
Yeah.
Application on that.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right.
Got it. So you're actually advocating for more money. That's, then, I hear you, I hear you.
It's higher than 3% is what that is. That's
Anything in parentheses is higher than 3%.
In Mr. Farley's column.
Well, yeah, because he's the one that wants to bring everything at this point back to 3% only. Anything in parentheses.
So,
No,
yeah,
that's
you'd be
not correct.
you'd be
That's
lowering
not
the
correct.
salary, you'd be
So
lowering the salary.
what's located currently in Farley's, Mr. Farley's and Mr. Rivera's is only at 3%.
Gotcha.
What's in the mayor's proposed budget, where you see the, for example, trying to discuss
I
the
got it.
supervisor receipts. Why you see that negative amount, is because was higher in the mayor's budget compared to the 3% increase that shows in these columns.
So in essence, they'd be reducing the salaries that the
Correct.
mayor is recommending.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I would rather
So
go with
we-
what's recommended.
And if we have a sheet, I haven't copied it.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Does everyone want to see that? I mean, if it matters.
I'm looking
for
for
that in the jar.
Yeah, and so,
We all got that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just look for mine. Thank you. But is that what you guys would be suggesting, would be the lower salary?
then what's proposed?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, if someone's look, if we have multiple people at 3% and then somebody else is at 17%,
I think that's what
that's the whole issue that we're
That's
having.
where the delta is. So
Yeah.
the difference between
Right.
3% versus anything over 3%.
see, is it this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy.
Do we want to take a quick 5 minutes break and then come back and then we'll go for 1 more hour-ish? And then we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
It's a Friday evening and.
Sure.
Yeah, so let's take a 5 minutes break. Come back in and then
So
we'll wrap
wouldn't
up
be
at,
kind of consensus.
we'll wrap up at 9,
Okay.
as far as we can go.
So we actually really start with the page that says capital, oh no.
We're starting with a new page that we just received from Derek.
General revenue.
Put aside the old sheet for now,
Mhm.
and let's just go through.
Maybe you didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
Sam was counting.
Yeah, I
pages.
didn't have all the pieces.
Okay.
You have it in?
No, I didn't get the
Maybe,
packet, I
hold on,
guess.
maybe I have two of them or something.
No, you have so.
Don't
Yeah,
get
full
five
of
sheets here.
I have no sheets, I think, on
I
this.
handed you one, I know.
I
handed
have
you
these, I have,
you
is
put
this
them-
what you're,
did you
is
put
this
them on
part
top
of your
here?
new packet?
What's on the top here?
And it should be
no,
general,
that's
it
what
should
was
be
working on
general,
this earlier.
water, sewer and golf, right?
Look something at the bottom there.
General, water, sewer and
Oh, there we
golf.
go. The mayor has two on his.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
Revenue.
It's bedtime.
Revenue, got it. Go through this quick, this is good. I don't think we're too far apart.
So let's work to wrap this up in the next,
Yep. Oh, this is so much better than looking at my little scratches on this one.
So let's start with A1002.
Okay.
Let's look at across each member's column and where we stand.
Well, 1001 first, right?
No,
Oh, you
that
know.
is whatever we do at the bottom may affect that one. Which time to just pick that one. Before the field, we're carrying the same, no change. The Bureau is dropping that to 2 million. Mr. Farley is dropping that to 2 million. Mr. Toro keeping the same. Patrick keeping the same. Mr. Williams dropping it to 2 million.
This was, this was based on the increase that we've seen. And so that's where I got there. And Mr. Woodbury,
Let's go ahead, please.
initially you were even talking, doing the upwards of $1 million, but after the conversation, you dropped it down to 850. So you gave some flexibility there, and I'm comfortable with that number, but I'm open to hearing from my colleagues.
Go ahead, please.
I just can't, because we're collecting more taxes, I just don't, can't understand lowering it. We're still gonna get the same amount of uncollected taxes and possibly even more moving forward into 2026 with the economy and everything that's going on, so. I don't think that number can be lower personally.
No,
No, kidding.
no, what you're saying, you're arguing actually to lower it. Because what we're saying is that to your points you just made, we're going to collect more taxes, so mean it would be lower.
No, we're gonna collect more taxes, but that doesn't mean that we're not gonna have the same amount of uncollected taxes. We could possibly have more amounts of uncollected taxes, but that I'm comfortable leaving it at the 2.8, whatever it is. You understand? Because people, just because we're gonna have more taxes doesn't mean that people are going to pay more.
But if you're collecting more taxes, it drives down the uncollected.
That's like it.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to say.
Right, but I
Both, right?
just don't agree with that, because especially 2026, people are making less money, people aren't getting their raises, people aren't going to, it's not a lot of money for the grocery market, so I might think that our uncollected taxes might even be higher. But that's my personal.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to understand. Are you saying that we're gonna collect more taxes?
We're collecting more in.
We're raising the tax limit.
The 39 million, right? 39.
Right, it's.
I guess what I'm saying is that I'm struggling to see how we collect more taxes and then collect less taxes at the same time. That's what I'm trying to figure out, what side of,
I hear you.
what's your point? So that's what I'm asking. So are you thinking that we're gonna collect more taxes or less taxes? I guess that's the best.
For a tax levy is gonna be 39,000. I think our uncollected should stay the same as it is. people who aren't going to pay their taxes.
But then the question is, if you're collecting more, then the uncollected has to drop.
It's like you
You
can't.
can't collect more and then have the negative of the bill.
Building, raising the tax, and people's ability to pay may be challenged, so if that uncollected number, I hope it drops, but just the reality is it's not going to.
And that's what we're looking at, factor estimate is as we project to collect more. We anticipate that
We're building,
yes, we're billing more, and we're hoping that we pay, because that's what we're billing, people pay.
But that's
That's what
also
we
based
see
on
over
what
the last
Corporation
couple of
Council's
years.
report is that people are paying more. It's a
People are
report.
paying more,
That's-
people are coming in, there are less foreclosures. We get hundreds of foreclosures, and we're getting,
To her
less of
point,
foreclosure.
right, to
So
her
people
point,
are coming in to pay their, they get off the foreclosure list, pay their taxes, pay their liens, and pay their taxes.
and take their capital gains when they sell their
And then
house.
then we see how people are coming to us, they will make make an adjustment to give them back the property and pay their taxes out. So all of that is factoring into, as we build, and we're hoping to collect, which we're gonna collect. We should also look at that line to make adjustments, because we can't have all both going up at the same time. One has to go up, one has to come down.
I'd like to, I mean, our finance department actually thinks that this number, the 285,000 is too low
Mhm.
and recommended even a higher number. So I think I'd like to hear from our finance commissioner, just, what you're thinking about the 285.
I think to the mayor's point, that we're increasing the rate, so we are gonna be doing more than that. We don't know exactly, since we book it in February, March for the uncollected taxes, so in 26, we'll book that in February or March. We don't know exactly what's not gonna be paid, right? Just because the tax levy goes up doesn't mean you decrease the uncollected taxes. Trending wise, to historical,
I saw
the
that.
higher the tax levy, the more higher the uncollected taxes are. So if you go by that area alone, it should be more than the 2.8 that we adopted last year.
It should be more than 2.8 that we adopted last year. But we're still proposing 2.8 this year.
We're being conservative.
They're being conservative.
We're trying to work with the budget. It's a hard year, but we're trying to make things more, a little more flexible.
Well, Commissioner, sorry, last year, people weren't redeeming their property so much last year. People weren't paying so much of emphasis in terms of like, let me take back my house, I'm gonna pay the taxes, I'm gonna pay the fees. And put back my property on the tax roll. Now we're seeing it this year. That's gonna be trending into next year. People wanna get out the foreclosure list because they see the property value going up and they wanna pay their taxes. So, I mean, I don't know how more I can try to get this up as we build. I'm gonna use the term as we build them and anticipate them and get paid. We should do the same thing for the uncollected, hoping that we don't have to have that amount of uncollected. So we can't say that we're gonna build and we're not gonna get paid. And at the same time, we can't say that we're gonna expect this uncollected.
I wish you had.
It's all an
crystal ball,
estimate.
you
It's
know-
all an
you know what's gonna
estimate.
happen,
We're doing,
because-
and we're hoping for the best.
Well, if that doesn't happen, it's gonna come out of fund balance.
Yeah, that would be almost $1 million more out of the fund balance. Well, no, I'm sorry, 500, yeah, almost a million, almost a million, 850,000.
That's a huge gamble.
Yeah, that's a huge gamble.
I don't know.
So,
Please.
make a difference. So I'd say we've seen consistent compliance, that taxes are getting paid,
Yes.
right? Mr. Google,
For the tax levy,
last 3 years, we've seen compliance at 99%.
seem compliant, so this is, you're looking at just at the real property taxes for the numbers here.
Give that year to date.
So that is deceiving, because we book at year end. So for 26, we booked December 24th or whatever it is. We booked the full amount, whatever the dollar. In February, March, we have a better idea of what the uncollected taxes are. So even though you see that full figure tax levy, whatever the amount is for uncollected taxes reduces that tax levy.
know that quite like that for you, but I'm just looking at year to date, and it's showing that we fully met.
Yeah, it's a receivable, right now, so it shows it, we book it, but doesn't mean we're gonna get it.
It's a receivable.
So I'd say with that information, this is the first time we're hearing about that, but I'd say if we're seeing that we're collecting what we're requesting, we're propping up the budget as though we won't. So that's why it's higher. So if you see an increased compliance, that needs to be reflected in the projection and the projection of the line below. To show that we are confident that this is going to continue, otherwise we are charging people more and saying they're not, still not gonna pay, even though we're seeing that they're.
And that's my point I'm trying to get over, is that yes, yes.
Because we're still fiscal years,
Yes.
although compliance is showing that this is only true. That's where that extra is coming from.
So maybe, so,
Oh, sorry.
sorry about that, sorry.
Ms. Patrick and then you, sorry.
I just want to refer us back to the chart that we got that shows the history over the years 2016 to 2024. There was only 1 year within all those years where the percentage was actually 8.41%. This is in other words, they actually were recommending, they didn't, but I mean that perhaps this 285,000 is even too low. And I can pass this around if anybody
Well,
else
we have
would like
to
to see
report.
it.
I just want to,
Oh,
I
okay,
just want to
thanks.
address that, those were difficult years. People weren't paying taxes, we were projecting that and we were falling short. It's only the last year or two we did, well, we break even with a couple, things are getting better in terms of tax collection. Those years that you were seeing on top of the sheet, those were difficult years. And we were not even making the numbers that was even estimated. So if you're looking at that sheet to factor this number here, that might not be correction.
could I just suggest that because I think that might be the places in revenue where there's the most daylight between council members. Maybe we move down to the next line and then we
That's a
go
good
back to that.
Come back.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yes, that's fine. Cannabis,
I think we were pretty close on that one too. Let's see. I think 1, 2,
Mr. Barry.
yes, please.
4.
I'm just saying on this one, you wanted to raise it by 300,000. Okay, I'll start at the beginning. I was at 150, you were at 3. Mr. Frog was at 150 to increase. Mr. Todd's at 100. Ms. Patrick is 150 and Mr. Williams at 150. So the majority of the council members are in the either 100 or 150 amount.
Yeah, I'm okay to majority have 1, 2, 3. I'm okay with dropping it to 150, just a compromise and.
The only question I would have again is at 850, we're 150 over what the mayoral budget is proposing. So I want to make sure that we're not overestimating. My whole thing for all these revenue lines are going to be that I don't want us to be overestimating and overly optimistic, because if we don't make the revenue, but I think that in our discussion, we talked about the number of cannabis stores and that there were even more coming, right? Is that?
There's 13, there's a total, like within, so the way the Office of Cannabis Management breaks it down, there's 13 that have licenses within the city, the county of Schenectady. 7 are current. And one of those current ones opened in April of this year, and the other 2 were earlier in the year. And then Mr. O'Brien explained to us that 2 more, which is approved the planning commission that is on that list, that they're now called non-operational. So anticipating that we'll get a full year from the one that opened in April, and then we'll get a full year from the other 2 that are opening. I think it's a reasonable basis to think that we can increase that at least 150.
Yeah, I thought I was being conservative on that one. I did think so.
Ms. Patrick, you did recommend to increase.
Oh, no,
it to
I'm just,
150.
oh, no, I did. No, but I'm just saying, I'm always gonna do even though I said that, what I'm saying is that I just want to make sure we're all, recognizing that, what do we do if we don't get that 150, that extra 150?
And I mean, have a basis.
There is a whole bunch of lines that if we
Okay,
were to do
let's keep
that,
going. So where do you
how
want
much money are we gonna say, well,
where
are
do
we
you
gonna get all the revenue that is?
I'm saying it as a
$120
general
million?
blanket statement. I'm saying it as a general blanket
Things don't
statement.
happen 100%. It's
So-
an
so what do we
estimate that
look
we're
at that?
projecting that.
Looks
things
like
gonna
the
happen.
looks like the next two lines were good. Now I got some momentum going.
So are we
All
going
right.
for 850?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm flexible to move forward then. The next line, those are
Oh, yeah,
CDBG,
these-
so that's a pass. In and out.
remember that mine is supposed to say 206.
Yeah, we got
Did it
you.
not say
Okay.
206?
It says 306, so.
We know what you mean.
Well, no,
Everybody's 306.
everybody.
Oh, sorry, yes, I'm looking in the wrong column
you're looking
again.
at
Once again, I'm looking at the wrong column. Okay, got it.
The next one here is 220. And then we have some 150. Sport field doesn't have a number there. Are we
No, I said
missing?
I would go to 20, but I guess that column got missed.
Oh,
It's okay,
so
I'm
you-
fine.
We all,
We can write that.
Are you okay, Ms. Totoro? Yours is the 150, right?
No, we've moved on to the SNAP people, right? The roads, those are all the same, we're keeping those the same.
Yes,
Yeah,
those
Oh, I
are-
thought he was down. I'm sorry, I thought he was down on
Yeah, we passed those because
2610B.
we're good.
2610B is what we're on.
Every one of those is good. That's a pass
Right.
from CDBG
Right,
for salary.
Maybe
for-
he hasn't mentioned it yet.
or I think we're there now.
I thought that
We're
was what
there
we were
now,
talking
yes.
about. That is what we're talking about,
It
right?
was
Yes, we are.
right down here,
Yes,
the
parking.
910.
Yes.
And that's what, I thought Ms. Porterfield wanted,
Yeah,
220.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
but you, Miss Patrick, you had.
I know, I say 290 and other people, there's 150, which is what I was,
I'm very conservative, I have 150 there.
I'm happy to go to 220.
So you want to drop yours to 220?
Just to build consensus here,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Well,
We're kind of guessing, so.
I'd say priorities projections.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yes.
no, that line in particular is based on exactly what the chief reported to us, the formula they gave us.
Exactly, yes.
So
It's
there's
only
definitely no
it's
guessing here.
$1,000 different. I rounded up to 220.
Oh, that's right, it was 219, so
Yes.
we're going to 220.
Yes.
But he did say, yeah, I was kind of hoping they were gonna be able to collect more. so. Mhm. Okay,
Well, I hope that that's what, so this is a projection and I hope that it.
I'm happy to go to
achieve it.
220. How about you though, Ms. DeToro, because yours was 150.
It's 150. I'm got a little mark then, I think about it.
Okay. We have 5 in that. Let's move to the next one, delinquent parking. We have.
Wow, we're all over the place.
Yes, we have 130, we have 330. We have 200, we have 100, we have 330.
We don't have 200.
Yes, we do.
That's
That's the change, that's the change.
300.
Mhm.
Also,
We do have a 270 though.
Mhm.
That'd be me. I would only go up to 300 and none of these 500s.
so yeah,
Why don't we go-
300 and change plus the 170.
A total of 300, yeah.
My recommendation
So
was.
that would be 130.
Uh,
So you want to upgrade to 130?
I would do that.
Yeah, my other recommendation was to meet at 4.
So what's the total? I'm looking at the total lines here. So Mr. Williams and I are at 500
I'm at 500.
and Mr.
also.
Mudavaren is at 500.
Yes,
And I,
because we're asking to increase the line by 330,000. So
Several people are at
170.
300, right?
my increase was 200, which would bring it. But
370.
Oh, you said six.
It should be 370.
yeah, it should-
This should be 370 and then
Yeah.
300.
yeah, but that's just a typo. I saw those.
Yeah.
So 370, which I was saying is which I'm comfortable going up to 400. And I think that's a good place to meet in the middle without 500. I gotta be honest. I just think that's, I think that's
Gotcha.
really
Yeah,
stretching it for me.
Again, remember that the budget is saying 170, so, you know, going even to 300 is $130,000 extra. But
Well, Ms. Patrick.
You
I
got
know.
500 on there.
I'm just being cautious. I know, I keep being cautious. Okay.
If you suggest a number, then we have to go back to the drawing board and say, no, let's revisit. it.
All right, I'm going down from my 500. Let's put it that way.
You suggest 330, and then you're trying to say, well, it should be 330.
It's not
What's the
330. I
real number?
actually suggested,
500.
No, 330 plus the 170.
Well, is it, it may be the way that she put it on the sheet that
Yeah.
got interpreted. I think
yeah,
it's-
yeah.
Because as Ms. Patrick said before, there was no one was saying, like, do it, put it as increase, put it decrease. So some of the ones that you saw that you put there were definitely.
Definitely.
What would you like to debate?
Well, I will go to consensus on this one. So let's see.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I can meet at 400,000 that, Mr. Fry recommended.
I'm not gonna go above 3, unfortunately.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think 3 is good.
No, you did say 500.
I know, but I'm trying to come to consensus with everybody now.
No, this is not consensus.
I thought that's what we were trying
It's
to do.
consensus, but if you put a number there, you're debating, you're putting a number, you're debating against your own number.
I know I am,
So,
but aren't we
So-
trying to
Yeah,
compromise
So,
and
so
and
what,
change
so
our
let's-
numbers?
So what number are you comfortable at now?
I'm looking across the board here. At it. I mean, I think it's okay for us to change our numbers once we're in dialogue with each
course,
other,
it is.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, but after we have the discussion, but not before you have the discussion to say, well, I should have put that there.
I
We
thought
said
we
that there are one-
I thought we were having the
At
discussion.
any point.
Let's keep going and we'll
Yeah.
come back to them then.
Yeah, no, I think that's easy.
We'll come back to
I think-
Yeah.
Yes. What's the next one?
Where we going? Wait, listen, where you going?
We're gonna come back to it.
Bus patrol,
Yeah.
Every time I hear that, Paw Patrol,
Paw
Me
Patrol.
too.
Paw Patrol.
Okay.
Ms. Porterfield is,
Staying.
I'm staying.
You're gonna
No
have it.
way.
I look to-
400.
I look to give more. I know compliance is a big part now, but people,
but we heard from the PD that we have $600,000 of outstanding ticket that is not factoring into this budget. Whatever they factor in is what they think about excess ticket into next year. But what are we gonna do if they're going to collect those tickets, outstanding tickets? Where is that fund? Where we have to account for this one.
did he say we were going to look into an agency maybe to start
More
collecting?
like
Oh,
this.
no, the company itself who's ticketing
Yes.
is looking into
Yes.
agencies and how to collect it. That's why I want.
That's why they're expecting to have revenue on that line.
Excuse me, the bus patrol fines, you said
Yes.
they said they're gonna get an outside agency?
They
Yeah.
did mention something like that.
They did that with the winter.
So-
Yeah, the delinquent, that was delinquent.
Yeah.
They think when they have an agency.
Yep, capital recovery.
One, 6.
Yeah, so we're working with bus patrol, the law department prosecutes the tickets. So when they don't come to court, they become, or they just ignore the tickets, they become delinquent and uncollected. So we've worked with bus patrol. I don't have the exact numbers with me, but bus patrol is going to have a collection agency, start working on collecting them, the law department. We're also gonna be doing some work to help collect.
Mhm.
But remember, there's fees, the amount of outstanding tickets. There's any fees eaten out of that because we have to pay bus patrol and bus patrol's paying a collection agency. Once that process starts.
So, so the recommendation, so our understanding from, the police that came to present was like 600,000, so. And now the recommendation from, the council is that we take a third of that, so does that sound, if we say a third of everything actually will come back to us?
That's probably reasonable. I mean, this is gonna be the first time that we're gonna be Or this is like a new program, from my understanding, even for bus patrol, we work with them, to. But yeah, a third of it is probably a good start, and we'll see what happens, and next year we can evaluate.
All right, and I can go with the 200,000 based on that explanation. Additional.
Thank you for that clarification, and that's what we heard from the PD.
as well.
I mean, in terms of that, and we look at it as like, okay, let's take a turn and factor it into the revenue.
Okay. So that means you want to increase the 400 to 200, by 200 to 600? Okay. Okay, I'm okay with that.
Who's
Doreen's okay with that too. That's a lot. Everyone's across the board with that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, Doreen was at 600 also.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, so that one's good. This is the one that it was just, I think
Sorry, can I have something, we increased it or?
We
we
increased.
increased from the
it-
mayoral
it-
budget from 400,000 to 600,000.
Because there's over 600,000 in delinquent.
So what I'm trying to explain is that if we're 600,000 delinquent, we're not going to collect 600,000.
No, we
No,
know
there's-
that. No.
There's
Yes, but we're saying the same thing. What you're saying is that if there's 600,000 delinquent, a third of that is reasonable, which would be 200,000, and is what we're suggesting increasing the line by.
On top of what we would collect
Aren't
normally.
we on?
Okay, and I just want to clarify, it's potentially reasonable. Remember when you go into collections, use collection agencies, you're collecting sometimes pennies on the dollar.
Right.
So just for the record.
This
No,
is
so
bus
that's why we were
patrol, you
saying a
guys,
third.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is why we say, okay, don't go 50%, don't go for it, just take a third of the 600,000
Can
on
I,
top of the estimate.
okay, can I just check on Monday, we have a plan with them. Can I check those numbers to see what percentage the city's gonna get? And just revisit that number to make sure that, because bus patrol's taking a piece. And then the collection agency will take a piece. Sometimes there won't be that involved, but. I'm concerned to over budget something that may not happen, but. Just for the record.
Okay, so I guess we can stay where we're at based on waiting for some
400.
more. Yeah, well, no, I'm saying
Well, we can stay where we are until we receive an update from the Corporation Council.
So make it 600.
yeah, that's right.
Right now, it's at 600 across the board. So let's, go ahead, please.
Year to date, as of September, was 250,000 this year. So I guess 400,000 was reasonable because of compliance, but then we're taking in everything in. I'm still kind of comfortable with the 600, but we'll be.
Yeah, no, we had a good explanation from the
We
people,
did.
so that's fine, we respect your recommendation too. So we'll put a note on that, and we'll receive an update from you Monday. The next one, I don't think we have any, this is new.
Yeah,
Speeds, definitely.
yeah, I think we have great data on that. The only
Yes.
huge variable is that we're waiting for this legislation to be signed.
It was based on what Albany, I think it was, we heard about what Albany. right?
Yeah, what
That's-
was based on what Albany and like municipalities
Right.
and us having 20 zones. So even so they
Right.
actually did the study based on our municipality. So I think it's pretty good data. It's just the huge variable is when is the governor gonna sign it? Next
Okay,
line.
The next one is sale of homes. Everybody's quiet.
I think we should stay with the 3 million. I don't want to overestimate that one.
I say with it based on, what Ms. Carver had to say, and again, there's some, I don't know if it was. Oh, I think it would be rough as well, that's a reasonable number, so.
Yeah, I think Mr. Motivair was raising the points around the trend that we're going in. And I also agreed with what Ms. Carver was saying, so that's why I made it an increase. But my increase was 500 instead of the 1.5.
Mayor, those two projects that we have, I'm gonna say projects, What am I thinking of about like 2026?
In one, I come together and look at book at 25.
One of them.
So it's gonna be 40. And the other one, done some outreach to it, and it's still out there, and it's a little bit.
And in terms of foreclosure, you mentioned that you more than likely gonna have like 3 foreclosures by the end of next year. Complete 3,
So I mean, foreclosures are, we aim to do one every year. My goal for next year is to have a year to have 2 foreclosures running, because we're starting one soon. Then January 1st is gonna hit, we're gonna be able to start a second one. So, the thing is, a lot of people are redeeming, way more people than it used to be. And so it's good because that means we're getting the tax revenue, but we're not gonna probably see the revenue from sales as high as previous years, especially also given the surplus matter.
But we also have to factor in the house sale, the price is going up. So that will help in terms of the dollar amount too.
Right, that's
We
why.
can't take that, we can only recover what our costs.
Right.
But we're putting all our costs associated with each house to make sure that we offset that.
And we said our cost doesn't really
That never
reflect.
happened.
And our
We're
current,
documenting all of
Those
the costs.
assumptions are in my proposed budget.
oh, okay, because we were saying that for so long that we weren't really capturing our labor into upkeeping the properties, but you're saying you've now since adjusted to do that.
Who's saying we're not capturing the costs?
No. But let me be very clear. You said in the past, you said that the sale of the houses might not reflect our true investment, meaning that we were putting in more work and not charging people for the work. And now it says like, it seems like you adjusted that.
We do a very detailed analysis on any of the houses that go through foreclosure and sale, so that
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
we do a very detailed analysis of the cost and expenses, whether it's police codes, other related things, so that we're fully able to recover or justify our number, so that we're not losing money on a sale where we would, under the Supreme Court and the change in the New York State law, have to pay that back to prior owners.
Right, yes. I'm not talking about the change in the law. I'm talking about the conversation based on what our labor and upkeep cost was for properties. And what you're saying is that your suggested budget reflects that.
Yes.
Okay.
We've been doing that for,
And you're documenting all the costs.
yes.
That's not accurate. It's not accurate. There's been a blanket. Got it.
Yeah, let's go to field.
Well, I just also want to point out that, and I don't know where it is in here, but in terms of that, we just increased our other fees if people are redeeming their their property by $1,000. Is that correct? So that should.
That's only, so the way foreclosure works is once you file the original documentation, you notify, you serve the buildings. They have the public has, or the owners have a 6-month period to redeem by right. So a lot of people are redeeming, it never comes to the council because they're redeeming by right. When they miss that period, then I'll bring it to the council to ask for, an exception. But you're talking, okay, you're increasing it $1,000, like what you're gonna charge when they do a late redemption. But you're looking at a small number of properties.
Very small number, I wasn't referring to the home sales, those are those
I understand.
like 5 properties or so that come to the, well, maybe more than.
Yeah, more than
Yeah.
this year.
If you're referring to what I was saying previously, what I've been saying is that the law department and receipts, we're not, the amount of time that we have to put into it, these late redemptions is just, I mean, it's become like having a full-time job to just deal with these. And so
So then we're not so we're not capturing our total.
that is it's a small, okay,
But
that's
it's
a
a separate
small.
thing, it's not the sales.
It's
one
not
thing.
I know it's not sales. I'm very clear that we're not talking about sales. We're not talking about sales when we're talking about the law department's work, and we're not talking about sales when we're talking about um whatever administrative work has to happen or whatever work has to happen to the property. What I'm saying is that it was communicated to us that the labor, and I'm talking about the overall labor in general, we weren't having an accurate reflection in the cost of what it's costing the city to go through the process of to sell these properties. And that's what you're saying now. You're saying that it's a
That's
whole.
not what I'm saying.
Okay, so what you're saying is that we are incorporating the your labor into the sales of these properties too. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, so.
Okay.
There's foreclosing on a property, and then there's selling the property. The law department does the majority of the work in the foreclosure process. In terms of redemption, that probably the majority of that happens in the receipts department. When people don't redeem on time, it creates a ton of extra work for law and for receipts. So the only thing that I've said in the past is that the amount of time that we are spending on these late redemptions it's really unfair to the taxpayers that actually pay their taxes on time. When we have in the law department a very sophisticated process of collecting information from departments. I mean, all departments have been asked to track their time in dealing with properties that we foreclose on and then eventually sell. And we ask all the departments for the amount of time it is translated into a monetary amount. And then that's all accounted for when we create the surplus sheet. So the mayor has, been briefed on how this process works, so he would know that particular number. He has all the same information that we do in terms of we've briefed him on it, so if he's putting out a particular number, the law department would support that number.
So the question is, apart from the sale of houses, these redemptions that we're doing, can we attach a fee based on? To
The redemptions by right, sorry.
Go.
The redemptions by right, get a $250 fee on top of the taxes,
Okay,
and the interest is, I believe, about 9% per day. So it adds up, but by the law, we can charge only $250 when it's by right. So we do charge that,
is this our law? Or is this not state?
that is state law. Yeah.
But it's not even a couple hours for you.
No, but it's really not, it's not, I guess life's not fair, but yeah, I mean, the amount of time and energy and cost.
You just mentioned, I mean, your receipt department getting all this information, doing all this, and then you have to do so much with you and your office.
But we can only charge that amount.
Mhm.
And I just wanna be clear again, that in terms of, calculating surplus and all of that, we have a process to, pull out the valuation or related to
Sure.
carrying and selling these properties.
That's a sale. That's a
That's
sale.
that's a separate situation,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it, yeah.
So go ahead. I was just moving on to say.
I was gonna turn back to the top for a second. So if we're seeing a wide number of redemptions, that would tell me that there is more compliance, if not further removed from the intent date. So that would be lower our tolerance of threshold for club taxes.
Yes, and that's what we're hearing throughout the whole discussion.
I'm just recapturing.
Yeah, no, sorry, I had to cut you.
No,
That's
that's
the
good.
discussion is that we're doing good there, so we reduce the exposure.
So on this one, can we keep it at, $3 million?
Let's revisit this.
Can we-
Okay.
Well, I'd like us to like just be able to, because if we can just talk at least through this, so 3 million is what was proposed. I think it's great, Mr. Moodman went up to 4.5, Mr. McFarland up to 3.5. So there seems maybe, well, and then 3, and then
3.5.
3.5.
Yep.
It seems like if it's possible, we could get to 3.5 here, but that Mr. McFarland really depends largely on you. Because
Let's revisit it. Let's move to the next one and we'll come back. There's something with golf.
200. That's what we take from the, you know,
No,
isn't that the?
Mr. Farley, this is Mr. Farley.
Mm-hmm.
Please,
So what I was saying was that we invested $3 million in ARPA funds into the golf course to make the course the beautiful state-of-the-art course that it is. I would think that after said investment, it wouldn't be unreasonable to increase fees to where we'll be able to pull at least another $150,000 in revenue out of the golf course, but to support our tax base.
I thought that was the ordinance that we saw that you.
No,
Right.
no, it's
Right.
not, it's,
It's against the ordinance that the city has. You can change the ordinance.
we wouldn't change it in time for this
Right.
tax year,
But
but I
at the
still.
moment, you'd be going against the city's own ordinance.
No, not because I wouldn't suggest us to ever go against the ordinance. What I'm saying is that I suggest that we change the ordinance. Unfortunately, based on what's entailed in order to change the ordinance, we wouldn't be able to do it within, before we have to approve this budget, but it's still a strong, I still strongly suggest that we change the ordinance, but being that that issue would be budget neutral, we can move on.
the next one. That's fine. Mortgage tax.
I'm just going back to the golf fund, you're saying you're removing that request?
Yes, for all, so the same way like how we removed the youth line because it's budget neutral for this year, for this year's budget, but same thought. We're still gonna fund the youth line, but it's budget neutral, so remove it from this budget.
No, excuse me, I thought we were still, I mean, aren't we, isn't the 200 is what is in the proposed budget from the mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I keep that 200. I think that what the discussion was.
Ms. Patrick, he was suggesting adding another 150,000 to the 200 that the mayor's budget.
Based
But
on,
that cannot be done, so he's backing out.
right,
Oh, okay.
So that's
Well-
budget neutral. So the
so,
200,000 remain, 200,000 remain.
Yes,
As
that's all I'm
budgeted.
saying, that it
So-
would stay.
Yeah,
Okay,
please.
so
I thought you guys were trying to.
the
figure it out.
initial, but we gotta be clear if we're gonna talk about it. The initial conversation was that the golf has its own capital reserve fund. And what I was saying initially was that that is city revenue that should be going to support the general fund. There's legislation, there's an ordinance saying that a percentage of golf revenue, that revenue that's set aside for the golf fund is not accessible because of the ordinance. My suggestion is to increase fees at the golf course so we can have more money after making a $3 million investment. So we're talking about two different funds. One was a capital reserve golf fund that you cannot touch. I'm suggesting that we increase fees so we raise another $150,000 in city revenue. If there's no support to do that, I'll move on. But I suggest we change, looking forward, we change the ordinance so we can take in all of the money that's coming from the golf course that comes to the city, and then we can divvy it out. That's my suggestion.
Mr. Mover, I just do want to say that we will have a presentation in January, because every year we do increase the fees at the golf course slightly. I think everybody knows that. So
Slightly.
what you're saying will happen in January. It's slight. The fees go up slightly. And I think they have come up every year that I've been on council, but.
Well, I think, but it's done based on the expenses,
Right,
based on
right.
what the market is, you know, it's
Right.
not like, oh, we're automatically gonna raise
Oh, yeah.
fees. It's-
Right. I'm suggesting that we raise fees to increase revenue is what I'm saying. That's my suggestion.
And what that number is to reflect the city services, so it's the law department reviews contracts, does other things, the finance processes, payroll, checks, city council, just spending time here talking about the golf course.
Mhm.
That reflects the number that goes over from the golf fund to subsidize the general fund for the work that the general city staff does to support it.
Correct. The same way that like the money comes out and goes to water and sewer because we use those utilities on the golf course, correct? Right. So what I'm suggesting is on top of that, that we look to increase fees so we can pull revenue from the golf course to the city. Because if we're not doing that, we just invested $3 million of ARPA funds into that golf course to make it what it is. And to think that we can make such a substantial investment and based on an existing ordinance from I don't know when, was that
1986.
from 1986, I think that we might want to revisit that because I think maybe a few things might have changed in the city and the golf course. I don't know. So that's my suggestion.
We can we'll just have it there, yeah.
Okay.
We'll visit.
I'm not married to it. I'm just saying we should do
The
it.
next one is the mortgage tax. And I just wanna highlight why I suggest that.
Mortgage tax right here.
No.
We increased it, right?
No,
It's 1.1.
sorry, no, that's one. Mortgage tax. And the reason why I was suggesting this number, we have seen an increase in the property value. And as that property value goes up, the mortgage is at a higher pace, so taxes will go up. And then there's a potential of interest rate going down next year, that people are gonna hopefully refinance their house and we get more mortgage tax. So those were the two main factors, the reason why I'm looking to suggest that we increase this because of the sale of the house, the mortgage higher than compared to 2-3 years ago, and potentially interest rate reduction and people refinancing their property. So we're looking at twofold in terms of mortgage taxes.
I agree with your assessment, just not to that degree. And I felt like I was trying to stretch a little bit to get there. Based on your logic, I just don't think that.
Oh, stop.
That's why I went to 1 million.
You show this stuff? I showed this stuff, no, that's not it.
I can't be here
That's
today
it.
for that. It's
Yeah.
gotta be something. Well, maybe that's for the casino.
Yeah.
That's me.
We can always revisit.
Okay, so we go to the next one and then I'll come back to those three.
Yeah, next one is casino.
It's past 9 o'clock. actually.
Yeah, it's Friday evening, so I'm not gonna drag this on because it's not gonna happen tonight, so we'll just, yeah, casino fee, how many, 2? Was it total?
50,000. Only because, like I said, the new event center, people will be there with their children, whatever, spending a weekend in the hotel. I think that's doable. Oh, what, I think this Porterfield, did you say we couldn't do anything with that line?
No, Mr. Mover.
No, I had still in the formula or something back. Maya, can you help us with this?
Because I didn't put anything in for that.
Yeah, that's what we need.
That's clear formula of the county and us receiving this.
That's
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying.
that's why we didn't change it.
It's up by the state, but we do see an increase.
if they take in $1 million, that formula and we get a certain amount. If they take in $2 million, I should say, profit.
Yeah.
Then we would get twice as much.
But the formula's the
Well,
formula.
the formula is fixed, so what we get, what Albany County gets. But this is the best estimate on the revenue there.
Yeah, so once the profit, as the profit increase, so our share increase.
So I think I definitely, give a strong level of deference to the room on that. I think Mr. Toro increased by $50,000 is pretty reasonable, just based on the event center, where I was at 200,000. I think that I could definitely come down to Mr. Toro's 50,000. And if there's not consensus among that, that's not a hill that I need to die on, so we can, you know.
Well, the lines that we don't have a concern, we'll revisit.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that
we'll
one, like,
revisit.
I'm okay with that. I just think we should see a little more based on
No,
more things that are happening.
What's on, if we're on this topic, we can get 5%, same as the county. And if you look at their, adopted budget, it's at 4.1 million.
So we're right
Four
in
point
line.
one something or 4.2, almost close to 4.2.
4 point maybe 1.6, when I had 60,000.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I could meet, Mr. Toro at 50,000. I think that makes sense.
I do the same.
What do you think?
50,000.
So what was the number of county, 4162?
I don't have to double check, but it's 4.16.
4.16. So
We
why
get
don't
the
we,
same
Go to 60,000?
we get the same amount as the county?
Yeah.
It's all the stuff going.
So if there's 4.16, then we go 4.16.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Because if you're gonna match, Mr. Toro 50.
Yeah.
I'd as well just go,
I think we just have to increase the amount of time spent at the casino.
are you sure?
I was gonna say, this is one thing that if we really work together, we can.
Oh, fund balance, yeah. I don't want to take anything more from the
So
fund
I'm
balance.
gonna check that line off as 4.16, somewhere around there, they have.
So that would be an increase of 60,000. Is there consensus, there's consensus around that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good.
All right. Let's move into expense and we'll wrap up in a minute. It's Friday, we can't complete this,
Are we
unfortunately.
all,
9:15.
we can't move into the expenses. You want to
No,
move?
he
to the
was, he's
expenses?
done.
It's a lot of expense and I promise everybody that we're gonna cut off at 9 o'clock or 9:15. We have a schedule to meet for Monday, 5:30.
Oh, you do, I thought you wanted to keep going tonight. No, okay, good, I'm right with you, I'm on the same page with you, but,
I
okay,
mentioned earlier that we were recess.
I'm
Take a
good,
break of 5 minutes, come back, and the 9 o'clock, we.
Yeah. that's what I thought we were doing.
Monday, we can be back at 5:30. We'll break for the city council meeting. And we'll then come back after the city council meeting to continue.
Yep.
It's 4:00.
So we're not gonna revisit the revisiting item tonight? No.
If you want, if you were, I'm looking at here, if you were to go back here, we're gonna go beyond 10 o'clock.
I think we were really close to one, except we could have gotten there. The one where, it's moving was the one that was one, the 1.5.
1.5.
1.5, and everybody else was pretty close, was either, 300.
All right.
300.
Okay, anything else? Any
Yeah,
discussion?
3,500. Huh?
Any other business?
Yeah, 2.5.
Is that where we were? I didn't even wrap that on.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Can you say the name of it, please?
Oh, sure. It's the
All right.
same house, right?
Oh, the Sense Houses?
Yeah.
Motion to recess the finance committee until Monday, 5:30 P.M.
So move it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We'll argue it on, I'm with you. You and I are in the same.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I was looking
What?
for one.
What?
Yes,
Pardon me?